That's a good clip to start a stream with.
Yeah, I will tell you, I saw a clip last night of something that I said, "Oh my god, I don't know if you have seen it, but if not, it needs to be like clipped and like used for something because it is mildly disturbing." Um,
Like Drac level of disturbing
like,
clip.
have you seen like last night? I'm watching Hulu, or I'm turn on Hulu, and there was pop up for something new. Shit popped up that caught my attention. It was Suicide Squad.
Oh, the anime thing. Yeah, I did a whole
Yeah.
video about that months ago.
Did you? Okay, well, whatever. I just popped up on my stuff.
Yeah, I can't.
So
I love the Suicide Squad, but I can't do it, man.
I watched the first 3 episodes.
How was it?
Well, aside from the fact that I have to read to my television, and you know how I feel about that.
Yeah, you're not a big reader.
No, I'm not a fan of having to read. It's true, especially when I sit down to watch TV. I'm not there to have to read television. But
the difficult part is most time I get TV time, it's when I'm not in a mood for reading. It's
right. So, okay, whatever. There's some stuff as far as like story goes with it that I'm just like, oh, this is kind of weird. I'm not, this is definitely not the normal DC stuff, but it's not bad.
No, I didn't imagine. So that Adventures with Superman is doing gangbusters, and that's just like anime light. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they did this thing, which is like balls to the
this
wall.
Is full blown anime.
Yeah, wipe your balls on the wall anime, like isekai or however you say it properly. Which I'm not good at saying things properly.
It's because let's go with that.
Yeah, it's a form of story. So like the isekai thing is like when you take. If you and I were to be sitting here, then all of a sudden we roll the wrong die number in Jumanji and we end up in some other fairy world with monsters.
And they reference that multiple times.
Okay.
So they have, one of the Suicide Squad that they're utilizing is, of course, Harley, Deadshot,
nice.
Peacemaker.
Let's go.
King Shark.
Even better.
Clayface.
Curveball, but I'm for it. Clayface. Right. Is it fun Clayface or serious Clayface?
It is kind of a fun Clayface at the same. Okay. He's serious, but he's fun to everybody else.
Gotcha.
And he's the one through his actor stuff. He's talking about the isekai storytelling and the plot twists and
he's your window to the world.
Exactly, doing some of this stuff, and he ends up in the course of the as they get to this new realm, which is a magical realm, everybody's powers get a little bit enhanced. Apparently, he's the first to notice it, and so normally he can only change his clay. There, he can control any clay. And so, at one point, he's at a castle, and there's the bricks are all made of essentially clay. And so, as long as you get some moisture to it, so they spill some water on it, and bam, watch him take down an entire castle type thing. But
I might check out. Well, yeah, I'll probably look up, see if anyone's posted any clips. I'm sure with it being anime, it's got to have a lot of action in it, right? Otherwise,
there's a fair amount of it. But it's a lot of almost like still fighting anime, with motion. Yeah, some various things. There is the opening sequence of the first episode is pretty kind of interesting, where they have Harley and the Joker doing something and escaping, and Joker's car is no steering wheel. It's a fucking piano keyboard, and he's he's playing it, and this is how it steers the vehicle and stuff. Is there all this police?
He looked weird in the footage and stuff,
because they had a drawn on, and then they had stitches for threads stitched for teeth, which is interesting. And then, but anyway, so my point was at the end of the second and the third episodes, when they do their end credits, Japanese animation stuff, they always
do the crazy music that doesn't fit the show and have a ton of credits,
and then make some sort of sometimes music video thing with the characters. Yeah. Wait until you fucking see Amanda Waller all of a sudden start doing some kind of weird sexy poses and dance.
Oh my god.
It's just
is it Amanda the Waller, or is it Amanda Waller?
Not quite sure what that means.
Oh yeah, you do. Is it big version of Amanda Waller? Is it fat Amanda or
she's not sumo size, but she's not Harley Quinn model size either. She's a substantial woman, but I wouldn't say that she's necessarily fat. She's just kind of
there's
built.
a lot of artist interpretation with comic characters. Amanda Waller's no exception.
Here, let me I share this part here. I can see this window.
Yeah, so like months and months ago, I did a video called Anime Invades DC, looking at that show, My Adventures with Superman, as well as the DC manga books that were all coming out at the same time.
There's
oh, she's solid. Is that Rick Flag?
Over here, yeah.
Yeah. You got Katana on the top. I guess those characters on the bottom are Isekai characters.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's
Hey, all right. I ain't fat, I'm substantial.
That's right. You'll get that next time on Fat Stacks channel. It'll be the substantial stacks.
Rob, substantial stacks of comics.
Right. Don't worry. Don't listen to me. I'm just
right.
a substantial man with a substantial opinion.
Good morning, TM Nerdy. I noticed how TM Nerdy's name has the little trademark symbol too.
Nice.
After Nerdy. I never noticed that. What's going on, Jeremy? Stephen with C. Yeah, somebody does. Good morning, madam. Good morning, Dersey boy. Hello to Paul. Der says he'll check it out later and DM you an honest take, Rob.
Oh.
What are you watching now?
I think somebody's got it clipped. And they got it at high speed too, so that way it's kind of
the scene you're talking about.
Yeah,
just DM it to me.
Okay, I'll put it in the private chat.
Good morning, Pop. Just got home from working overnight 12-hour shift. You are welcome for the coffee if you're drinking it from a Keurig. That's where I work. Nice. Let me watch this clip real quick.
Anyways. Speaking of coffee, that is some tasty coffee. I'm not drinking it from a Keurig though, but it's a little bit I can see. Oh God. Anyways, let's see what else is going on. Things go about. I've been fighting a freaking leftover con crud.
Yeah, this is terrible, Rob.
Yeah, right.
Monkey chicken dance too.
What do you? I was like, oh my God, this is so wrong.
The faces they're making are nightmarish.
As I said, it was the most disturbing part. Fortunately, it's not indicative of the rest of the show. But it is the Suicide Squad travels to a world of magic. And it turns out that, I guess, that some previous Suicide Squad is there, and they're going to have
to
do battle or something. Because so far we've come across the Rat Catcher.
So I'm guessing that's Clayface with the fedora.
Yes.
The guy dressed nice.
Yeah. Staying up late to watch the puppet show. What puppet show?
Oh, he's talking about the debate.
No, I didn't watch it.
I did.
I said, part of me wanted to, but at the same time, like, why?
Well, we can recreate it in 2 seconds if you just start talking, just like rambling, and I do this.
Was a tomato, and the tomato was responsible for a large decrease in production, and the.
So I do that the whole time while you talk,
and it's his fault.
Yeah, there you go. That was literally the debate, dude. It's what was crazy is like news channels are pretty much like hitmen for their guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like one channel, if they support somebody, they just rail against the other guy. Like it doesn't matter if they're telling the truth, making sense, anything. They'll find ways just to talk trash. The second the debate was over, CNN hosted it, and they just spent the next forever just trashing their guy. So what it looked like, like, and I had talked about it before. I think it was on Marcus's stream where I like months ago now, talking about I don't picture Biden running again. And it looked like this debate was just for the sake of putting him out there so that they can start that narrative early enough that he can't run again. So, because the second it was over, they had all these polls ready that they ran during the debate, apparently, of how everyone's now like, he can't do this again. He can't, he's not there. Like they were very, very, very upset with what they witnessed. It was kind of sad.
Well, when you have no good no good choices.
Well, I think there will be. I think that's what they did it for, because they do have the option of swapping him out. And they talked about why they didn't run anybody against him, and that's not really what you do with an incumbent and all that. But that's all the narrative was. Literally the minute that it stopped, and my first thought was I was out in the comic room filing stuff, and I did like a knee jerk toward my phone, like, wait, how do they have all these polls already? How do they have all these like voters weighed in things? Like, where'd you get that? Like the debate's been over for literally 10 seconds before they're showing off like these surveys and stuff. Like, who's your audience?
Yeah, well,
but I'm with Durs on this.
Like I said, I didn't watch it because I don't.
Yeah, I was
I said I chose to watch the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it was par for the course of what you'd expect from Trump. And for Joe Biden, I'll be honest with you, I was surprised. I thought he did better than I expected he would be able to do. But I don't know, man. It was a poor state of affairs. It was the giant douche or turd sandwich for sure. Time for the annual 4-year trend where everyone hates each other for zero reason. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It did, Scott. It was rough.
Yeah. Well.
It was bored. That's the rough part. You remember back in 2016 when it was like watching like a pay-per-view to watch some debates? Like those things were energetic, exciting. The people were just going at it. It was fun. This one just wasn't fun. Like debates are supposed to be fun, at least for me.
It's because they become matches to yell at each other now or accuse each other of stuff, and there's nothing in it. There's no actual discussions. There's no actual
debate.
It's just like Congress and the Senate is
It was like a tattletelling session.
There's no coming together to find middle ground to solve the problems. It's just trying to impose your will upon the rest of everybody else.
Well, a large part of this was like a tattletelling session. Well, he did this, but he did that, but he did this, but he did that. When nobody who's voting for these people on either side care about their tattletelling record.
No, but the problem is that in the case of one candidate, they show that's all he does is make names and yell at people and accuse them of things and everything else. And so if you try to have one half do even something resembling a standard, the old school methodology of having a debate, you end up looking like you're avoiding responding to anything that they say and everything else. Just because
you got to say, like,
it's such a breakdown of what's become the norm now. It's
for being a forum that was like stated as being like a heavily biased, problematic setup, with cutting their microphones and hosting it on this one place. It was ridiculously not what I think people hoped. Like people would have been more happy with like a crap show, you know what I mean? But I think it was so boring because it was no, they didn't interrupt each other. They didn't really like yell at each other. You know what I mean? There was none. It didn't get excessive and it wasn't memeable. But you can't make clips out of this. It was just It was so stale.
It's what you expect when two near,
Two
80 something,
senior citizens debate politics.
well above, yes.
Two senior citizens debating policy. Go. This is it.
The question of whether either one of them can make it through 4 years.
So, where's the reset button? Let's just hit that. Let's reset. Both of y'all send your number 2
The
guy.
problem is that they want Gen, you're essentially saying, hey, Gen X, why don't you take responsibility and take charge of something? And we go, yeah, no, that's not our thing. You guys told us to just take care of ourselves. So, meh.
They should have had WWE hosted. Yeah. Speaking of them, that would have been R-rated. Did you see that news, Rob?
Yeah, when they go to Netflix.
Yeah, when they go to Netflix, they're no longer
No censorship.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be some stuff, but I think what they're talking about, some stuff's like been really annoying lately is the chat, like USA Network or whoever it is that has Raw now and stuff, is when the crowd starts chanting certain things, they cut out the sound, and it's very annoying throughout a promo, in-ring promo, when the sound keeps getting cut out because
due to the crowd chanting "F you."
Yeah, or whatever they're chanting stuff. So, that'll be nice to have that go away. I mean, I don't think that, since Vince McMahon's not running it, I don't think that means all of a sudden we're going to have, women topless wrestling.
Then I'm out.
I know. But, Vince was back. You guarantee that would have been part of it.
Yeah, I need Jello pools and everything. Slip and slides.
Yeah.
The slip and slide that leads to the Jello pool.
That's how you enter. Next WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
You go down the slip and slide in a white bikini, and then you slide right into the pool. That's the Jello pool in the middle of the ring. That's of course branded, and so that way you can get promotional dollars from it. Right? God, that's annoying too. So I'm tired of hearing about the Prime Hydration Station.
Prime Hydration Station? Isn't that like the drink that South Park made fun of? Prime?
Probably, but it's the drink that apparently, what's his name, Paul.
Yeah, they're making fun of that. Yeah,
because that's part of his deal. He's wrestling once in a blue moon with WWE, and his at all their premium live events, his branded stuff is at the middle of the ring, and throughout the regular shows, there's a Prime hydration station next to the ring. It's like none of the wrestlers ever stop to hydrate during the match. What do you think? What's the point of that? Nope, it's just there so we can talk about it and have somebody pick up a giant Prime bottle and hit somebody on the head with it occasionally. Product placement. Yeah,
that's kind of cringe. In South Park, they call it cred, and if you're not drinking it, you got none.
Right. I mean, it's almost as bad as AEW and their cans of Woo energy drink set up along the edge of the announce desk.
Wait, isn't that the stuff made out of like mushroom juice or something that Ric Flair sells?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I can't even imagine what that tastes like. Yeah, let's see. What is in Prime hydration? Filtered water, coconut water, B6 and B12, electrolytes in the form of sodium, magnesium, potassium, natural flavors, artificial sweetener, preservatives, potassium sorbate, and sodium benzoate, and amino acids. They don't seem like it's anything crazy.
No, putting coconut water in there, I'm out.
That did it for you.
I cannot stand coconut water.
I enjoy it once in a blue moon. I don't ever buy it or anything. We went down to the Florida Keys to mile marker 0, and the people, like the locals there, will, karate chop the coconut and stick the straw in it and just give it to you. I like that. But it isn't like it was refreshing. I was thirsty as shit as soon as I drank it. I like ice pop flavor of Prime. They sell it at pizza joint I go to once in a while. I can see Scott being a Prime guy. He's like, see how much cred I got? Look at all this Prime. Probably keeps it in like some of those duffel bags he has.
Swallows it like Popeye turns into Optimus.
Yeah. Vince did buy AEW, right? Absolutely not. That would be on the news everywhere.
Yeah. The closest you got to that is that there's been some sort of talk for some reason about
Shane.
whether or not AEW should hire Shane or something. I was like,
AEW needs to do something. They're kind of slipping away.
well, they're doing what they got. Excuse me, an owner with money, and they're doing what they want to do, which is just they just don't care about massive stories, everything. They just want wrestling matches, and they're putting on some ridiculous matches.
Now I'm just imagining the worst product to have next to the ring. Oh no, the Undertaker grabbed 2 packages of raw chicken from the Tyson protein station.
By the way, those have
Oh
been
my
recently
God.
recalled, and
Yeah. That's hilarious. Getting into it, Rob, did you
and
watch
that protein station is half empty due to the bird flu epidemic, and shortages.
Poor Birds? Speaking of Poor Birds, did you watch I'm sure you've watched it by now. It's been out for days and days, but it made the thumbnail, The Acolyte. Episode
I
number
watched that. I had with it the most entertaining I've had since the Acolytes come out is watching all the people out there who've talked nothing but shit about it say not nice things about it necessarily, but at least go like, "Oh, this is the best episode so far," and essentially go, "Oh, so you guys are only here for Star Wars to watch some lightsabers flash back and forth and fight each other," because that's essentially what 80% of this episode was lightsaber fights. And so if that's all that Star Wars is to you, then I get it why you're then not liking so much.
or they like this one. Like I give credit where credit's due. I think that this was the best lightsaber battles we've seen since the prequels. This is Disney era #1 lightsaber stuff. Disney hasn't produced anything else that was this choreographed, this entertaining, this dynamic, this acrobatic. This was peak Disney lightsaber battles. It doesn't touch the prequels. They're still winning. I don't know if that's even possible, to be honest with you, because beyond what they did in the prequels, it requires like superpower characters because they just went full blast. But this was an impressive show of choreography and training by the actors. The lightsaber duels were awesome. We saw stuff for the first time we've never seen before with some of the way that there were kills. I thought there were some creative camera shots with the 2 Jedi that got impaled together and then the spin around to behead them. But as the camera's turning, it like timed perfectly with the tree covering the beheading because this is Star Wars. This isn't some kind of Starship Troopers. So I thought that was pretty cool. We knew they got beheaded without them showing the rawness of it. That being said, to your point, Rob, this episode was so good, not because all people want is a fight, it's because the fight took away the ability for them to tell you a shitty story some more. Like, so, like, credit where it's due without, like, discrediting other people. Let's talk about the story that we did get. Like, oh, May's a good guy now, and she wants to go report to the Jedi. Fast forward, she tries to kill 2 Jedi in this one when they try to report her to them. Like, doesn't make sense.
No, she was only going to do that because she thought she could get away from her master. And once
she knows she can't get away from the master. You know,
once he showed up on the planet, that was it. She's out for herself now at that point.
And then let's flash forward to take your mask off. What kind of master doesn't show his face? Oh, take my mask off so you can read my mind. The fuck are we talking about, Professor X?
We were showing that during the earlier episodes. I know you didn't like it, but some of the storytelling they were showing was one of the things that they were showing with the Jedi was how easily and how at this point in their point they're so think of themselves as so above everybody else that they were regularly invading people's minds and thoughts and getting almost very much like the Sith and figuring and talking about what they're feeling and what they're doing and stuff. And so it was very much on point to talk about having some sort of.
Glad you mentioned that, Rob. I was hoping you would. How the fuck doesn't he know that's May next to him? She's not wearing a goddamn helmet.
Oh, you mean the fact that she shaved
Oh
her?
yeah,
She cut her
she cut
bangs.
her hair.
This shit is terrible.
They cut their bangs, yeah, and and she swapped. Well, anyway,
Well, we don't know. He might get her in the ship in the next and be like,
well, we
yo,
do know, because for him to do that, that means he willingly abandoned OSHA.
He doesn't.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, I mean, they definitely did. Obviously, he's not.
That's the noise I make when I watch this show.
He's not taking the effort to look into her mind, and he's just taking the leap of faith that quickly what's going on.
I mean, you could just call it. Yeah, definitely you could call it like, you know, they're exacerbated from the fight, from watching their friends die. They're just trying to move on.
Yeah.
But that being said, these people sense each other from across fucking galaxies.
But sometimes
she's standing next to him. He should be able to smell her fucking hair. She just burned it all off.
Well, that's what we got with the tracker, right? He's smelling and realizing that there's something wrong. It's like not right.
The weasel or whatever the heck it is, you know.
So dude, I loved Smilo's little lightsaber to dagger thing, dude. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, he like 3-pronged that one chick.
He had her block and he poke. Yes. Get her out of here. Get her out of here.
The best was when he like stabbed the one and then he said, "Come here," and shish about the other one.
Yeah, that's when he pulled it out and cut their heads off after.
Yeah,
more.
But you notice he was saying that his fighting style was not like theirs. I mean, I have this feeling that he didn't really he didn't train with them. He just, you know. But what I found interesting more than anything was the fact that he was so precise with his lightsaber. He just went boom, and it like cut off the head of their lightsaber to the point where it was like, how come that's never happened in all of Star Wars?
So actually what it was is, so the metal that he's wearing in his armor and the gauntlets and his helmet and everything else is a type of metal that not only is it able to absorb high amounts of energy, but it's actually in the lore. Yeah, it shorts out. It temporarily shorts out kyber crystals.
Well, what Jim's talking about is when X-23 had her lightsaber tip cut off.
Yeah.
And she looked at it and he comes in for a kill strike and she reaches behind her back and pulls out the second one.
Oh,
right. Because that one was definitely.
But then she fires up her.
Yeah, but she ends up with one because he diagonally cuts the tip off of one of her two.
Long hilt, whatever. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
So you think that was like the Mandalorian armor, Rob?
No, it's
not. It's a different kind of metal. But it is in the lore. So you know, and there's questions. You know, I like one. When you read some of the other stuff, I love one person's theory is that this is not actually a Sith story as it is more, you know, because he doesn't necessarily say he's Sith. He's talking about you guys named this and everything else. Is that it's more of potentially going to be a Knights of Ren origin story type of thing. But
I can see that. Disney always be Disney, and what I mean is like with all the stuff they do, they've been trying to get their lore rocking and rolling. Hasn't been precise enough.
Okay.
But who you think it is? Witch.com, Ezra Miller, is he one of Soul's kids that Soul abandoned along the way, or is he another surviving kid from the Order of Chanting Witches? Why does he have a hard on for these Jedi right here? And it can't this is me trying to give it more credit than it might be due, because I'm assuming that it's not so bad that he's simply a guy that wants to live my life how I want to live it, not being ruled by you, because he wasn't ruled by them. They don't even have a fucking clue who he is. So I'm assuming he has to have some kind of connection to him. Otherwise, the show's
once there's a reveal, there's some sort of connection that we understand. They know each other, but we don't get the full story yet. I'm sure that's going to be this episode.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he imply that Soul knew him right there when he took when he got his helmet off? I thought there was something like, you don't recognize him.
Who are you? After he looked at him, his question. Soul looks at him without his helmet, says, "Who are you?"
Yeah, but I meant like the other guy had this. I thought he said a line like something to the effect of, "You don't recognize me" or something. I don't know. I may have to go back and watch it again. It was that good. This episode was that good.
Yeah, he said something along the lines of like, "I don't really go by anything, but you would call me a Sith."
Yeah.
Well,
he asked him why he's doing this, and it's because he wants to I just want to be myself, and I embraced my power, and y'all don't let me embrace my power. It's like, motherfucker, you're a goddamn bad guy.
But see, I've been watching this whole thing, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. So they go when Osha's little. I mean, it seems like the whole Jedi, that was their type of like recruitment. They would be like, okay, we're on this planet. Oh, look, she might have good force powers. We need to make her a Jedi. And they kind of, I don't know.
They try to take the kids away, essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
they're
what
like, hey, we're not going to force you to do it, but we really, there's 12 of us around you with lightsabers, but we really think you do. That's some Nazi shit right there.
Well, that's what they're trying to show.
They're trying to make you think Jedi are Nazi. Yeah.
The whole point, not necessarily that aspect,
yes,
but trying to explain that it's not, we've been told a story based on, the dying pragmatic, what we know about the Jedi for the most part, where everybody thought there's these guardians of truth and justice and all this stuff, was told to us from Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was fully indoctrinated even throughout throughout all the time in the prequels. He was full blown indoctrinated, couldn't believe that Anakin would turn dark and all this other stuff. He's full blown Jedi, all this stuff, right? They're showing this concept. Look, there might be other aspects of this, and how they got so, as they became the preeminent, force users, they feared the Sith and stuff so much that they started to try to control. And as you exert control, it's a slippery slope to becoming authoritarian. And they began to use some of those things, and this essentially begins to cloud their visions and everything else, which allows us to have this whole situation where a Sith master can become in the same building as them, and they can't see shit and see this takeover that occurs. Is it a great way of telling this story? Not necessarily, but this is the story that's unfolding.
I always assumed that the Palpatine wasn't able to infiltrate because the Jedi were fucking blind. It was because he was that powerful, that he was that good. That's why you can have one ultimate bad guy, like, against the whole army of good guys. The power has to be off balance. Like, he is that much more powerful. And I always thought, I guess because George Lucas described it to us, not just Obi-Wan, but George described it like the Force is good. The dark side is evil. It's white and black. You have good and evil, yin and yang. And people will dip their toes into that, how they dip their toes into it. But if you go around stealing children against people's will, you're just a fucking Sith. Because it is right and wrong. It is good and evil. That's how he's always described it. That's how it's always been.
Early on, yeah, he talked about the way he built the story to be told was black and white, like the traditional Western type thing. Here's the good guy, here's the bad guy type thing. As the stories over time developed, it became the users. It wasn't the Force. The Force was neither.
I fight for the users.
Right. Exactly. You're welcome, Tron. The Force itself was neither good nor bad, but it's the users and how they use it. And the EU had introduced them the concept of these gray users and everything else, right? People, so it was how you used it and what you tried to do, whether you tried to use the Force as a tool to do things, or whether you tried to bend the Force to your command, is other concept. And essentially it became very much like Republicans and Democrats. They're two different opposite sides of the same coin. And
yeah, I don't think it's like a separate force by any means of the imagination.
No. Right.
Now the thread, that might be a separate force.
Well, the fact that somebody calls
you gotta pull it.
The fact that somebody refers to something as a threads versus the Force, whatever else.
No, you pull it unwinds.
We got things like, look,
tomato, tomato. Jim, come on, Mark. Tomato, tomato.
Jim, what do you call Coke and Pepsi and stuff?
Coke. They're all just Coke.
Okay,
soda,
cola, pop. Depending where you're in the country, call things different. They're all the same thing. So what difference does it make whether they call this the threads and this one's calling it the Force? I mean,
yeah,
they were very earthy, Mark. They were Earth people. I mean, they, one with the planet. That's why they called it the thread. these guys are all into that S&M stuff. They call it the Force. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the funny part of the whole
I
thread
say
thing
for it
is
is
that,
Annie.
you know, Disney has this like track record with trying to tell us instead of show us, you know, like they're
yeah.
going to tell us this is good. They're going to tell us these people are powerful. They're going to tell us that this is the strong one. They don't ever show us. They don't ever let us come to those conclusions. They have to front load it, and then it's not believable and people don't go for it. And that's what they did with the whole thread thing. They just have this coven of witches chanting and singing and talking about how the Jedi and the folks that use the Force don't know what it is and don't really have any clue of it, and we're the ones that know how to do it. And then they proceed.
Like any religion.
Then they proceed to do. Well, it's not a fucking religion. Then they proceed to do a
but-
demonstration of what younglings would do. Like, look, I can push, and then you can push. I'm like, yo, this is so fucking corny.
The concept of the Jedi Order has often been compared as a religious order almost.
And you've been compared to the Monopoly Man. So what's
don't worry, Rob. John's
All
already
the-
tried that line with him. He just
It doesn't-
pushes back on that.
all
It
this with
doesn't work. It's
the
not a
wills,
religion.
the wills and everything else and all that stuff. This all been out there before. So
Yeah. So but I mean, like drawing inspiration from and is not the same as.
again, I'm not saying it is a religion.
That's okay.
But in using those same analogies and stuff, religions all the time say that no, ours is the only way. The other ways are all not.
Well, in my defense, which is not a good thing for the show, they had to tell us that they had to present their connection to the thread to be more powerful than the Jedi's connection to the Force, because they one-upped Star Wars in this show. They used the thread to create life. They used the thread to make not just an Anakin, which nobody did that. The Force did it on its own, but they created twinsies, because you have to one up the people before you. They couldn't just do a kid at it. We need twins. I'm surprised they're not fucking triplets, and we just hadn't seen the third one yet.
But
maybe there is.
Exactly, but that's why, like from a plot narrative point, that's why they had to tell us they're so much more knowledgeable of what the Force is and what it really is, because they have to justify their ability to have created life and shit on Anakin's legacy.
That'd be Disney. You know what? Hey, again, I just don't
Some
take
of it
all
we
this
just have to
seriously.
take our some of it we just have to take our licks and keep on moving. And for me, that's a lick, and I'm keeping on moving. I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it, but
All right, I think we've discussed the two most potentially
yeah,
contentious things in America right now: Star Wars and the debate. So,
Yeah,
Jim,
God.
how's it going?
the rest of the stream should be smooth. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
I see you're wearing your orange shirt, so you're here to support Netherlands as they get ready to face Romania, right?
No, it's
Oh.
it's an old Toys R Us tee. It's
Nice.
my gotta go power walk tee. Did you
Gotta
see
go
my
power walk.
post? Did you see my post?
No, I did not. If you were talking about
No.
power walking,
Mark,
that's oh.
go look on your IG. On your
Jim, don't tell me how to live my life.
go look on your IG.
Yeah, see, look at it. He's just like a Sith. Wait,
Yeah.
Where do
do
you want me to look? On your page?
No, on the Legion.
Oh, your video.
Yeah. But let's see what
oh
he's.
my god.
So, have you been watching the Boys? Have you seen any of the Boys, Rob?
I saw season 1.
Yeah. I'm just finishing it out. I think they've got one more season after this, and I mean, there's no more shock factor in it as far as I'm concerned. It's just more of the same, but I have to know how they kill Homelander or whatever they're gonna do. So I have to finish it out. But Madam, you look amazing. I'm sorry, Mistress Lucy, you look amazing.
Thank you. I just woke up like this.
I knew it. Well, vampires do that. They never age and they wake up like that.
Yes, and their fangs fall out as soon as they talk too. So
Jim, what's the temperature where you're at? How are you not sweaty from all that power walking?
It was 60. It's 65. It's gonna get warm today. I'm losing dig time right now, hanging out with you guys. I'm definitely going digging today, but
Well, if you let it get hot, it'll be easier to dig because the mud will just like be melting.
the ground
The ground,
becomes hard as a rock.
Tuesday and Wednesday, we were in triple digits without the heat index.
Lord.
You know, we're on a good day, we're at 77% humidity and like a dew point of like 75 or better. That's on a cool day. So yesterday was a relief. We had some clouds come in and the base temperature was 93. So I'm like, yeah, thank you, God.
I just want to say this. I'm glad to see that you're taking your children and getting them to learn how to swim. I think that should be required by everyone. When I see people that don't know how to swim, it just blows my mind.
Yes,
I don't.
They have their last
requirement of a parent,
right?
I think.
You saw Pop's post Thursday. I take them on Tuesdays, but I have to work on Thursdays, and they're done with their lessons now. It is fun. I explained to Kyle when we were talking about it. It's like riding a bike. You know what I mean? Like you don't know how to do it, or you do know how to do it. There is no in the middle. There is no learning period. There is no gray area. You just don't know how to swim until your brain just like concepts it, and you're like, oh,
until the Duke comes and just tosses you in the lake.
Actually, if you just toss those babies in the pool, they'll swim.
They'll swim, but then they'll forget if you don't keep them like.
That was standard operating procedure for Brother John and I when we were kids. The pool was literally at the end of the block. My mother would say, "Suit up in the morning. You have lessons," and she would have a moment of peace because they were for like I want to say they were like an hour, and at that pool, once you got to a certain age or whatever, you could go without your parents. We couldn't wait for that. We were like, "Yeah, let's go," but we went.
Peppercorn was on lifeguard duty.
Oh my gosh, not Peppercorn. I wish it would have been, but I would have never left that pool.
But Finn unlocked his achievement Tuesday.
Nice.
Like when we started the swim, because we go swimming outside of the swim lessons, and like I explained to him, like, dude, you know how to hold your breath, right? He's like, yeah, because they're trying to teach him all these like strokes and strokes. I'm like, if I could get the kid to know how to swim, learning different swimming will be a lot easier. But that's hard. Like for me, that was the last thing I learned. Like, you know how to hold your breath in, and you can. I'm like, all right, hold your breath, and while you're holding your breath, just reach out, pull yourself forward. And he just started doing it, just like it was that easy. And since he was
frog action,
now he just swims. Now he's jumping off the diving board and swimming all the way to the shallow end. And it was just he woke up one morning, couldn't, and then just could. It was that easy.
Yeah,
let me tell you a story real quick about my kids in the pool. I decided to have a games competition of swimming stuff in the pool, you know, like see how far you can swim and all this stuff. The last competition I had them do was see how long you could tread water in the pool.
Who died?
Right? Yeah. So my oldest goes first.
Oh no.
She's 16. How long did she tread water for, do you think?
30 minutes.
Yes.
At least.
30.
At least. Like without fussing to get out.
Then my 10-year-old got in the pool. Guess how long she treaded water for?
3 hours.
16 minutes. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they had that stamina in them. It was like, geez, you don't really know what you got until like it's for something, you know. I guess if you're out there in the middle of the ocean,
it doesn't actually take.
You can be treading some water.
Yeah, there's different things you teach, but treading water doesn't have to take a lot of energy.
You could float, sure, but
there's
water is not fun. I don't think
it depends upon how when you're in a pool, it's pretty easy. It can be. There's ways to do it that don't require a ton of energy because the water's not going up and down and stuff. The ocean is a little bit different, so you end up using different tactics than treading water to get, especially if you go overboard. There's survival floating and stuff.
The number one tactic is don't get eaten by a shark.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's at least your worries when those ships sailing off and you falling overboard and you're in the ocean hoping somebody spots your little small itty bitty thing, and you're hoping that somebody finds you before hypothermia sets in. Yeah,
I'd rather freeze to death than get eaten by a shark.
Well, maybe
on the Titanic, it was women and children first. Would you guys be okay with that if you're on the Titanic? It's sinking.
I wouldn't be okay with being on the Titanic. Period.
You don't have your families with you. It's just you. Are you sneaking on that lifeboat?
Well, it's 2024.
Or are you going down with the ship?
I'm not voluntarily dying in any scenario.
I'm finding a way to make it work. They could have
Yeah.
We're
thrown
worried about
doors out
lifeboats.
there. or
Or
something.
yeah, we've seen
I don't want
Titanic.
a
All we
piece-
need is a good door. Let's
Yeah.
go get it.
Something that'll float. They could have sat on something that would float. There was tons of crap that would have floated.
Yeah.
There was room on there for both of them.
No, I
There
taught
was.
I taught swimming and survival stuff in water for years when I was younger.
You did?
My
Yeah.
old man, he
My first
once-
job was working for the Y, teaching swimming at
Yeah.
summer camps, and then working for the Parks and Rec, teaching swim camps.
Just
And
think, Rob, a handful of decades ago, you could have been Finn's swim coach. That's where we took him.
I started with that's where I was teaching was the first level classes and stuff, getting the kids starting just getting their faces in the water and stuff, and then eventually getting them with a kick.
Rob grabbing kids by the back of the neck.
Then giving them a kickboard and having them just kick while holding a kickboard with their face in the water and stuff like that. Yeah,
They still do the same drills, man.
Yeah.
Same
because
drills.
because those are because it's the tried and true. Get you to hold your breath, see you're okay. Now get yourself to move yourself by using the kicking, and you got the kickboard you can hold on to if you start to freak out, and then you can eventually take the kickboard away and get you to start to utilize your arms. Well, first, I guess before that, you had them hold on to the edge of the pool, and they would kick. They put their face in the water and kick behind them, well, without actually going anywhere, but holding on to the edge of the pool. That was the step after you got your. It's been a while, but now I'm remembering.
Do they still have the kids jump in the pool with all their clothes on?
That would not be at the little age. That's
They're
when you're
not.
doing
I had to do
when
that.
we're doing
Did you?
Yeah.
when you're doing survival training
Yeah.
for that stuff. Yeah, that's part of what you would do. Is
We had to do that for lifeguard. If you wanted to be a lifeguard, I went through the whole lifeguard thing. So did John, and that was part of what we had to do. You had to jump in, and then you had to take them off and turn them into a flotation device.
turn
You
your
had to-
legs into turn
Oh,
the
yeah.
pants into stuff. Yeah,
You have to tie off your pants legs.
Huh?
You have to throw them over to capture air, and then you were supposed to float on them for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes,
Yep.
something like that. I can't
That's
remember. But
I did all that, taught that.
we went out to some lake,
Wow.
and we had to learn, how to. It was like how to use a canoe properly, and then if you fell out of a canoe, how would you flip it? It was a whole litany. It was like a whole litany of things we had to do. But
That sounds like scouts.
it did seem like it.
We were working on your canoeing merit badge.
But the biggest thing that ever happened, or the thing that, not the biggest, but the thing I remember the most is I want to say I was like, man, I don't know, 10, 11. And it was way after the season. It was well into late September. And my father was in charge of the pool maintenance because, he couldn't afford the fee with 3 kids and him the only one working. So he cut a deal with him, said he'll run the pumps, he'll take care of the pool, he'll do all of that. So when it was late in the season was over with, and he said, suit up. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we got to go down and do this thing. So I put my suit on, and I'm like, what are we doing? And he's like, I need you to dive down there, pick up that grate, and bring it to me. And I was like, but it's cold. He went, not anymore. And then I pushed and I
It's
go
still
in there.
cold, but now the shock value is there.
Yeah. So I go down and I swim to the 8-foot section, pick up the thing, and put the grate up there. And I go to get out. He's like, don't get out. There's another one over there. Go get that one. So I go get that one. He's wrapping it, doing all this stuff. And I'm like, can I get out? He's like, no.
And
Now you
these
got
are
to
the
go put them back.
These are the true stories of the lives of the Gen X.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
really.
And so I'm like blue when we get to the house. I mean, I am freezing. And that is the first time I have ever seen my mother use the force on my father. Like she, like John was saying, it's sort of like my father was heavy set dude, and my mother was like this big. She just was like freaked out when she could have died. She went like that, and he went like 4 feet back. And I was like, oh shit. I mean, I'm just over here like, damn. Yeah, I've never seen her ever do anything.
He probably saw you at hypothermia and was really upset about
I
it.
was over there freezing for sure. But I survived. That's the way my father said. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. That's what he said. He'll be fine. Yeah, there was plenty of times where I'm like, that might have been a questionable move looking back now, but
Yeah, all my gigs teaching swimming or lifeguarding or any other or teaching aqua class, various classes, the pools were always the better ones. I hated doing the ones that were like lakes weren't always bad, but the ones that were the worst were dammed off rivers that they called lakes. You go to some of these scout camps and they got a river and they put a dam in there, and then so the river's getting filled out here in the west. The river is filled by snow melt.
Yeah,
That water is flipping cold.
Cold, yeah.
And you got basically ice water running down the mountain that's filling up. That's your lake you're going swimming in. And so the one of the odd things was you're freaking freezing. You have to watch kids how long they're in the water for hypothermia. But the morning polar bears, they do the polar bear swims in the morning where those were actually the better time to go swimming than it was the other, because the water temperature was constant. So the temperature differential between the air in the morning and the water was less. So it didn't seem as bad when you got into it versus in the afternoon.
I never thought about that, because you don't see them doing those plunges in the daytime. So.
Yeah, no, you get out there at the idea, you get out there when it's 80 and you get in the water and it's like 45 degrees. It's like, but when you get up there because you're in the mountains in the morning, it might be 55 and the water's 45. It's not as bad.
So,
uh-oh,
Mistress Lucy, when do you do your cosplay? Isn't that coming up? Nice.
Yeah, on cue. Nice job, Mark.
Thank you.
You have Al Milgram. Wow, right on.
Do you know that person? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Keith Williams is going to be there, and he's the person who helped draw my character for the comic book, and that's actually me as the character on the cover.
Nice.
Oh, Keith Williams actually also worked on Ravage 2099.
And that's Lucy again. It's Keith Williams. Oh,
who's that? Who's that cosplayer?
Wow, let's hope the wind doesn't blow.
Yeah.
At the con, I will be wearing this outfit, and there'll be a lot of duct tape attached to me.
I would imagine.
That's pretty cool. That's the Keith Williams cover?
That one's the Keith Williams cover, I believe, yes.
Let's say the newest, The Night Everyone Dies.
The Night Everyone Dies.
Yeah, where's this at?
That is in Rochester, New York.
That's a Gary.
You got
July 12th and 13th. I don't know who's out there. If anyone's out there, come and see me, please. That'd
free
be cool.
admission, Empire Comic Fest in Rochester, New York. Have
That's
no clue where it's actually at.
It's up in Gary B's area. That's where Gary B is.
Mm-hmm. And they're gonna put me on the headliner actually. I think this week, because I'm like gonna be on there like as a cosplayer or whatever. So, yep. There's more pictures. Yep, that's me.
Pictures.
Man.
So,
are you bringing fake blood?
Fake blood? Yeah, I'll bring fake blood.
You have a jar of it next to you?
I got a pint of fake blood.
I said fake blood. You look like you're reaching for a jar.
She's like, fake blood.
I do have fake blood up in my closet, actually. That I used for pictures for her.
Yeah, I'll have blood. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, fake blood. Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's exciting.
Anyway, it is exciting. I'm going to figure out from one of my good Instagram friends how to put merch on my channel, and then I can sell those comics, through my channel too. So the creator, Joe Janowitz, who is an award-winning producer, wrote the book, Halloween, and he said to just that there's going to be more promotions and everything, but that if anybody wants a copy of those books, message me and I'll start a list for you of pre-orders. Okay, if you want one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're not going to be like really expensive. Right?
You have little cards that you've made up where it's like your picture on one side and then the other side your little socials, so you can grow your channel and your Instagram and stuff followers.
No, I gotta do that now, Rob. That's a good idea.
That's the type of thing you got to do before the show.
Your Lucy image on one side, and on the other side you have your little socials. You don't need to put any other. You don't need to put any real contact. Just your socials only. That way,
Right. That's a good idea. I should do that. Make up some cards.
It's all about marketing.
And I was going to make a book of my my artwork, my sculptures, and have that on the table too, so people could whip through that if they wanted to.
Is that online?
My art?
Yeah.
I have a website, yes, called Custom Bronze Portraits.
Yeah, so you can like add that to your like link tree and have that
I
all
will
in there.
have to.
Yeah.
Yes, Rob. Rob's gonna have to teach me how to do all this.
See, you got to be like that guy.
Yes, I know.
That guy right there.
Promotion yet. So.
And then he flip it over, and he's got that card. If you want to donate, you can donate.
That actually goes to the link tree now. It's instead of just being the donate button, it's the link tree, which will allow you to donate, but it also takes you to everything: the merch store, the C3 exclusives, our socials. It takes you to the video. What is comics curing cancer? So yeah, it's all right off that one QR.
Right on. Right on. That's awesome.
Because Mark said that I wasn't allowed to have more than one QR code.
That does get annoying.
One code to rule them all.
Yes, thank you.
I like it. I like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, if we have especially since we have multiple things going on with comics curing cancer, as far as like the shows, the socials, the stuff that's being sold, and all that, it's great that if someone's inquiring about just one of those things, they've only heard of just one of those things, it naturally takes them to everything simply.
Yeah, and I constantly update it.
You better.
I do.
That's good.
It's what I do.
Yeah. And also, I have some news too. Besides this comic, he's going to write another one too with Lucy. So that might be a series then. That's exciting. And then I've also been approached by somebody else on IG who's making who's almost done making a comic to cosplay on their cover as well.
Nice.
See, I was looking
at the overlays ready, depending on what you said. I'm like, which one will I push? Which one will I click? I was staying ready.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I knew it was coming up. I just didn't know when in July.
Yeah. It's
well, Jim, it's
July 12th and 13th.
Who will watch House of the Dragons this week?
Ooh,
I did.
Man, I'm going back and watching the first season again.
Pulled up. Was that a heart?
It's a heart.
He just randomly waves a heart. All right, for context, there's some shows out there that you watch. Everyone's like, well, look, no. And then I just said House of the Dragons, and 3/4 of the panel popped, smiled, and waved their arms. Like so that's why people say this show sucks when a show sucks, because it does. It doesn't make people do that. That knee-jerk reaction for House of the Dragon is unanimously fire.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's on par with Game of Thrones for sure.
That fight scene.
It is a worthy
successor
prequel.
Yeah. That fight scene with the two brothers was phenomenal. I knew
Yeah. Oh
I was waiting for you naturally like follow them, like when the look-alike fights, like
trying to figure it out.
Then when you lose it and the one stands up, you're like, did they run?
Yeah, who was that one?
I know. I'm sitting there thinking, like, how are they going to know who he is? I'm like, well, if he dodges, and tries to kill somebody, they're going to know right away.
I honestly thought that one lady was going to come back, like she saw him and knew something was off. I thought she was going to come back and like warn him somehow.
I thought so too.
I think she's like, you know what? I just need to get the hell out of here. These people are nutty. I finally got my freedom to a degree, and they're going to let me go. I just need to go. So I read that all wrong. She was not a hero.
I read that too that way, because she gave that look, and like maybe she was going to be an integral character then, because she would have this information.
Well, she had been an integral character, but whenever she did anything, it always seemed to like, they always seemed to crap on her. She was kind of reminded me of a little bit of a Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. That person that worked her way up. Like he kind of worked his way up into this group, and his power was his information, his cunningness, his ability to manipulate. And she was a lot like that. but it never worked out for her. Like, she didn't die, but at the same time, she wasn't getting where she wanted to be. And I think she just finally realized, you know what, I just need to get out of here. And I was like, good move. Because
Have y'all noticed how the entire House of the Dragons, this entire story from season 1 to now, everything that happens could have been avoided with the invention of a telephone. But all joking aside, like everything that happens are people making decisions based off assuming someone's intention.
Right.
Like, I heard this happen. Like, there's this death. Well, I assume it was on purpose. I assume they're doing this. So I need to react based on my assumption because that's the best I got. That's the only information I have is my instinct and kind of guessing what they're thinking. And it's watching it is just like, you're like, oh God, don't do that. Don't do that. It's only going to get worse, and it just keeps getting worse.
I will say that
those don't fly fast enough.
Yeah, I will say that was one of the things you didn't see a lot of the Ravens being. I just got a message from the Raven, which was a lot in Game of Thrones. They got
Ravens.
Those Ravens were all over the place in Game of Thrones. But
back in the day when dragons existed, Ravens were probably appetizers.
That's what I was going to say. They probably ate them all.
then later on, in Robin Hood Men in Tights, switched to foxing people.
Yeah.
But dude, it's so cool having the chance to just like watch this show and be in this era where dragons are commonplace. They're counted in people's measurements for their decisions and stuff. It's freaking awesome because Game of Thrones, they were a treat. You know, they popped up at the end of season 1, but they have those moments and it would set you off, but like they're just there. They're just present.
When Daemon comes out at the end with his dragon, and it's so massive and so big, and he's just on top of that, like he rules the world with that thing, you know.
Well, I mean, they use it in warfare. I'd be like, look, I'm going to take this dragon, go this way, you go that way, and you guys come up the middle, and we'll just. Which I would never want to be on the ground. Because it's not like those dragons have accuracy. They're just like burning whatever comes down the line.
Well, it's cool watching them even strategize for war because previously they're counting men, they're counting fleet. In this, they're not counting any of that. In this, like
the dragons.
At this point, the two houses that are clashing, the two houses are the only two houses with dragons. So all they're doing is they've got 2 dragons, we've got 6 dragons.
Right.
Well, they have the biggest dragon, but what if we do this with our dragons? You know, like
right.
We're down to 5 dragons now, though 2 to 5. Izzy,
I found it interesting. I don't know if anyone else found this interesting. About hey Izzy, what's up? See you in your car. Is it moving day? Is it staying in your car for 2 hours?
He's in portrait mode too. What's up with that?
Oh God, you in the portrait mode? You happy? Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, now we can see all of you.
Oh goodness, my goodness.
Now we can see you get a bigger steering wheel.
You know what I mean? So what's going on, guys?
Talking about House of the Dragon.
Are you waiting to move your car?
No, today is actually I'm going to Amish country.
Nice. You know, people give me grief about this whole portrait landscape thing. Let me tell you something. A lot of your viewers watch this shit on portable devices, which means they're watching on a small screen. And this is, in this format, we're seeing small screens within a small screen. And if you make a smaller screen within a small screen on a small screen, then nobody can see what the fuck you are. You're goddamn Ant-Man.
Yeah, and they watch their phone like this.
Yeah.
So it's like a small screen on a big screen. And small. It's like the Russian nested doll screens.
You're like 7 pixels tall. You know.
Well, the way the phone is planted, putting it as you could see here, it makes it a little difficult because you do see the steering wheel as a result. So and it's magnetized. In this case, I got a magnet holding my phone. So
I understand. I have that too.
I heard magnets are great for.
That's why you. Yeah, I heard they're great for screens too.
You see? Yeah.
I think magnets is how alien spacecraft are moving around the Earth.
Which is not a surprise. I mean, DVH and I are aligned on many things.
Wardrobe. What else?
We believe strongly in dad jokes and making our teenagers' lives difficult. And
oh man, yeah, I won't say a lot.
Dragon?
I don't watch that stuff. I don't watch House of the Dragons. I've
When you
never
say
watched
that
Game
stuff,
of Thrones.
What is the name
No.
of the category that you're referring to?
The fantasy world. I'm not a really big on fantasy world. So House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. I've never watched them. So
I'm
it
not
just
too
was
big
never
on
my
it,
cup
but
of
I
tea.
love,
Comics, right?
I love Lord of the Rings and I've loved Game of Thrones, and outside of
Yeah.
that, I don't like some
Well,
corny 80s sword and sorcery stuff.
Yeah.
I love Beastmaster.
Yeah, so my wife is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'm an okay Lord of the Rings fan, but she really gets into the lore of it all. You know, I'll just watch it with her, and it's kind of the thing to make her happy. I'll watch it with her, like she'll watch a superhero stuff to make me happy, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? That kind of
Nobody's a
stuff.
fantasy fan until they see the Giants of the North march on the ice wall. Then you're like, wait a fucking minute.
I get where Izzy's coming from
You know what I'm saying?
because I am not a fantasy fan. All my sword and sorcery belongs with X-Wings and TIE fighters.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you sit there and watch that Wheel of Time, Rob.
I did not.
You better.
I only watched the first couple episodes, and that was it. Because my wife wanted me to see what I would think of it, and I couldn't get into it. And she's
I
like,
couldn't get into it.
I just want to
I
point
tried.
out, Rob,
I
you're
tried.
grandstanding for a show with witches, warlocks, people moving
I just
things.
said it's got sorcery and swords.
This is the only warlock that matters to me.
I will not. I understand. Look, Star Wars is sword and sorcery, and it's got wizards, space wizards. It's got space swords. It's got space knights. It's got all these things. It's got all the things. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
Yeah.
But
it is very
my
all-encompassing.
geek doesn't wear a loincloth. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Sludge says he likes
though.
Game of Thrones isn't for him. I watched Game of Thrones the first season. After the first season, something happens, and I was so distraught I had to immediately go out and get the books so I could read what happens next.
So my wife has been huge into the Wheel of Time lore from before we were freaking even dating, and that's a long time ago. My bookshelf over there, the only books on it are like all these
long time ago.
She goes to Jordan Con every other year, you know, and she's been a moderator on one of these boards and stuff, and she participates in multiple YouTube shows about Wheel of Time and everything else. So so she's really into it, and so from that aspect, she wanted, when the show was coming out, she wanted me to watch it just so, because she knew I wasn't knowledgeable, so she wanted to see my reaction as somebody who was walking into it without the prior knowledge, right? Because you get people who have, I've read these books, now we're making an adaptation, and they have one reaction based on whether or not the adaptation meets their expectation of what they align from their reading of the books. And then you have the people who've never watched anything before, and this is their first exposure, and therefore they're not comparing it to the books.
Those are called acolyte fans.
And so, but, you know, again, I just was not, wasn't for me. She gave me a pass after the first 3 episodes, said I didn't have to watch anymore, and I never watched it anymore.
That's how far I got, Rob. Was like episode.
Exactly.
I think I got like 3 or 4 episodes. And I was like,
it was for me. What's that one show that's based off of the Golden Compass that came out? I can't remember.
That was on HBO though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on HBO. It has this girl, the girl who plays X-23 on it. Shoot, I can't remember. Well, that show.
Just like materials.
Yes. So we were watching that show, and she's really into it. She loves the books and all that stuff. And I watched like the first 2 episodes, and I'm just there watching it, like, you know, like this ain't for me kind of thing. But I'm sitting here dealing with this, and then by 3rd episode, she's like, "I'm gonna just keep watching. You could go ahead and do your thing." And I was like, "Thank you, love you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Good morning, Beckerman.
It's like that's how it was with The Boys. So, you know, and I have to watch The Boys, you know, incognito sometimes because it's so grotesque in some cases. So
I wouldn't watch it. Yeah, I wouldn't watch that with my wife, or that wouldn't have been.
Really, why not?
Shock over substance, not for me. Like the same reason.
I'm really curious now.
No, the same reason I don't like the Acolyte is it's just shock over substance. The Acolyte is just trash over. So there's not substance to it for me. I watched season 1. I thought it was decent. I watched season 2. I thought it was okay, and then I started to watch season 3 and realized this is a chore. Because like everyone who watches
It really is.
the people who love the show, all like their feedback is unanimous. Like, did you see how he killed that person? Did you see how they killed this person? Did you see how? Who gives a shit? It's just it's a death scene. I've watched so many movies my whole life and shows. Like I've seen crazy cool death scenes and like creative death scenes. That's great, but the story, the characters isn't driving it. The shock value drives that show, and that's fine if that's what you're watching it for. But I don't. This hadn't been able to get into.
The part I don't understand about the Acolyte that really has been really bugging me is how come they're two separate girls playing the same character as their kids, but it's the same woman playing the twins as their grown adults. So they grew up to look alike, but when they were young, they looked nothing alike. So that actually irritates me.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind
I
of
don't
stuff.
have an answer for that.
I'm sure Mark can respond to that.
It's just irritating.
Okay.
It just irritates me. You know, the little inconsistencies in that.
With that, Digger. I see you're wearing that orange shirt. That orange shirt. You're ready to support Netherlands again.
Yeah.
Shout out real quick, Brian Wells, guys, is Comic Web. If you didn't see the Comics Curing Cancer post yesterday, you see that history of DC signed by George Perez. It was donated as from Brian. Brian was real cool.
Nice.
Donated that along.
That's awesome.
Along with some other books that'll be featured later on as we're continuing to feature some of the donations we've already received. So thank you very much, sir, for that. So, Madam Lucy.
Yes.
They're flying you out. They're covering. Nice, you get that swankness. They're flying you out with all the coach expenses they can have.
Yeah, it's not first class. It's not. First class.
No, but
No, not there yet.
Business class.
You know what?
There's no business class.
They have to make money at the
Economic.
time. They need you there to make that. That's a good thing.
But you get maybe economy plus.
I think I'm on the cargo somewhere, but it was just cheaper. It was cheaper.
Fair enough.
You're getting shipped like a Muppet?
They're sending you a casket, and they're having the casket shipped via USPS.
When you go, make sure you don't say a word, okay? There's holes for you to breathe in, so don't say anything.
But wait,
And don't wear any metal.
But you're all no. Don't ship me USPS. I don't want to get lost and stuck someplace for fucking a month. No.
Right.
Better send me FedEx or something, man.
Right. That's unreal.
I can just see Madam Web just coming on the conveyor belt. I said Madam Web. That's right. It's still stuck in my head.
I was thinking about when I do fly. I was considering coming on the plane as Lucy.
Oh.
Sitting down as Lucy and just portraying Lucy the whole time I'm there.
Wow.
If you want to be patted down at TSA, go as Lucy. If you're ready for the full body search, 100% you're going as Lucy.
Randomly selected.
You are going to be randomly selected. 100%. You should do it. But just have a camera somewhere.
You have anything
so you can catch that?
sharp
that
on
would be
you that I
amazing.
might be poked by?
I'm just saying.
Oh.
If you'd like to do that, be my guest. But I mean,
where do you think? Where do you think I am hiding anything? For God's sake.
They're gonna check.
Obviously, I'm signing a roll of duct tape under here.
They're gonna check. They're gonna be like, yeah, pull that one. Yeah, we're gonna want to check her.
What I did learn from Heroes Con, by the way, if you want to have your bag randomly selected for additional inspections, if you are nice enough to get pack in your baggage some very large battery packs and big blocks of magnets, if you put those together, you will be selected every single time to have your baggage
absolutely
thoroughly.
Well, stop trying to sneak bombs on the plane
And swiped for bomb residue.
Also, I've decided.
What's with all these magnets?
I've decided. All right, so you know how you hear people,
What do you
say
mean,
like,
your
"Oh,
people?
if you could go back in
You hear
time,
people.
what would you change in history?" And people like, "Oh, I'd go back and take out Hitler before he became that evil man." Not me. I would take out that dude that tried to put the shoe bomb on the plane. Because he's the one that makes us have to take our shoes off now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Digger. I never had to take my shoes off when I go to the airport.
I'm just saying,
Really?
people that wear shoes,
Yeah,
not
because
them
I
weird
because I
things
go
you
through
wear.
the step of getting TSA's pre-check,
Oh,
so I don't have to do that.
You are.
Hey,
He's one of those
Like,
guys.
that
look, I'll
He's
tell you
the
this.
elite.
check.
Hold on.
Elite
Elite.
member.
When I went through Charlotte Airport, there, the line to go through the regular security was posted, had a sign that said it was like a 40-minute wait from here. I walked
What?
over. Yeah, and I walked
It
over
sucked.
to the pre-check part, and there were 2 people in the line. So you know what? The fact that somebody doesn't bother just to go through a little pre-screening at one time, let them take your fingerprint, like the government doesn't already have that shit.
What? That's what you want to get
What is the
fingerprinted?
pre-screening they're doing? I
Oh,
mean, can't
I've
you
already
just
been-
change your
come
mind
on.
at that
I've already
moment
out.
and like decide to bring something nefarious on board with you, and now they're not checking you? I don't understand.
Well,
No, they
they're
check
just-
us. The difference is we don't have to take our shoes or belts off. We don't have to open up.
If you're willing
I don't have to
to,
take my computers out of the backpack and have them out. I don't have to go through the scan me machine. I just go through the regular metal detector.
Right.
Okay.
and what else did you give up? You gave him your fingerprint. Did you give him a semen sample too, Rob?
Yeah,
Gave the
There,
government-
out there, there's a whole bunch of little kids walking around looking like Rob with big mustaches.
you
They're
give
just
the-
Look, if I
roaming
give,
all over the
if I
world.
give him a blood sample and a fingerprint,
the
I don't have to
government
take my
nothing
shoes
else.
off.
You give the government nothing more than they already have if you have a social security number.
Give them nothing.
I'm just saying, I would
Take
kill
from
that
them
mother
everything.
because he makes me take my shoes off now every time because of that damn
And then-
shoe bomb
and then-
bullshit.
And then, yes, then I pay
That's what you would go back in time for.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I pay for Clear.
I
So that
remember.
way,
Yeah. Go
so
ahead.
I pay for Clear. So when I go to airports that have Clear, I don't even have to freaking do that part. I just freaking go up,
Look.
get my facial scan, and get escorted past everybody.
Rob, Sarah has the same thing.
Good for her. All right, what's
She had
next?
said, she's like, okay, love you. I'm going over here. I'll be on the other side in like 5 minutes. And I'm standing in line, and she's like, "Are you where are you in the line?" And I was like, "Shut up."
I did that. I did that too. I have done that. We've got the airport. So I'm gonna go get some coffee. You want me to get anything for you from Starbucks?
Yeah.
I'll have it ready for you once you get through security.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she did.
Oh,
That's
man.
rude. That's just rude, Rob.
Hey.
Like, I'll see you later. I'm gonna go eat now.
It's
That's-
just rude.
That's
Yeah, of course, I
Dude,
flew
it's
before
an awesome
2013.
Friday
Hey,
morning.
Rob, I have a question for you in flying.
Hey, Chaos and Comics. I flew back in the day when people
opening up this Batman Adam
there were
West
smoking sections on the goddamn
Hey,
plane.
Rob, I was gonna say that. I was like, I've smoked on a plane before. How many of you guys can say that you were smoking on the back of a
remember a
plane?
couple
Yeah, there were
videos ago.
smoking sections.
I got that one, but it's from the animated series.
Let's listen to Mark
Thank
talk
you.
about the animated series.
But
Hey, I'm looking forward to the new animated series.
I know. Let's talk about that. That thing looks amazing.
which animated series are we talking
The
about?
new Batman, the Batman
Batman.
Cape Crusader.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely got to be better than the one we were talking, the Suicide Squad one we were talking about this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks like they have every road in the book in it as well. And then one I
they
didn't
go in the war.
Good.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
it had the right vibes, that's for sure.
We'll see how it is when it actually gets here, though, right, Mark?
Yeah.
Because
I
you
can
can,
imagine.
you can.
Did you see the trailer?
Well, I'm saying is that trailers can be cut to make things look good. Movies do it all the time.
Yeah.
And you go to see the movie and you go, ugh.
The only concern I have is why did Max not want it? It's Batman. That's my
Streamlined.
concern. Doesn't matter. It's still Batman.
You gotta
Batman's
think,
there that makes the most money out of anything they have.
think when it came out as well, like at the time it came out, I think they were able to shift it over there and get paid versus incurring a cost.
Yeah.
Like, and not talking about when its release date is, but when it was produced, option, and started being made, they can put the cost. They put some stuff on like other streaming services as well. They're getting paid for their content now versus
the
putting
licensing
it
part.
of their content. Yeah,
The money's in the licensing. I know.
I
The
bet if it
distribution
came
and
out
all.
during a successful run for Warner Brothers, they would have kept it in house. But
Yeah.
they're licensing out a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised if it does show up in house sooner or later,
Oh, yeah,
after the licensing agreement's over. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested in seeing their take on Harley Quinn, though. That's the one thing that I'm really interested to see what they're doing with her.
They had
So they're
talked
making
about
her
an
different.
article a couple months ago. They're like doing a reversal kind of thing. Like she's supposed to be kind of a wild card when she's as Dr. Harley Quinzel, and supposed to be like methodical, to the point,
Yeah.
focused killer as Harley Quinn.
So we'll see. I like what I've seen. The animation looks sharp. It has a little bit of a you see him? There he is. There's the Batman. Yeah. That part kind of is a little irritating. But besides that, I'm gonna look forward to it.
Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, see,
Good
we're
morning.
cutting in. Yeah, we're gonna take it on over. Yeah.
Yeah, there's it's the Batman, yeah.
Pork chops and sauce.
Pork
Could
chop
be.
and chunky.
Isn't that swell?
What's up with Chris? He was there and then he's
Going
gone.
Are you
No,
still
I'm
there?
here. I'm here. Just don't like to be the guy walking around all the time.
Mm.
Make people dizzy, I
Then
guess.
next week
Have you
we
thought
get
about
to,
just parking in your car?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not in my car yet.
Not yet?
Let's
nice,
to answer
cool
your question.
experience.
Yes, he's thought about it. He's just failing.
Yeah.
isn't it next week we get to see Godzilla save Kong's ass or something like that? I think that comes out.
Comes out streaming?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. This is the latest movie that came out. I think it's coming out on the. Actually, I think it's coming out on the 4th.
Well,
I've had more
today-
coffee.
Today is Quiet Place, so that should be good.
Oh,
I like the
I
other
like
two.
those. I like those movies for some reason too. Although,
Is that the one where they're like, everyone be quiet?
Oh, look at that
Yeah.
nice little sharp copy.
That's the
Ooh.
little wraparound case.
nice.
Like magnets.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ugh.
And I love physical media. It's beautiful. Look at that. You can't get that with a digital stream. This is the kind of stuff I tell my wife all the time. Like, this is why I love my physical media.
Jim's looking at it like, God, I hope it's not too expensive as soon as my kid sees it.
I know. It'd be like, hey, you know what? He makes his own money. He can do whatever he wants.
Go to
with it.
Groove, GRUV, GrooveEntertainment.com for physical media.
I'll let him know.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Get it if you want to. I don't care if you buy anything. I get nothing from it.
Nah, man.
Did you say nah, man?
No, I'll watch it with him. Groove Entertainment.
Yeah, that's I've been getting sick and tired of going to Walmart or Target the day that stuff release and they don't even have it.
They don't have it. Yeah.
So steel books, movies, box sets, everything brand new. You can pre-order from there. And here's the cool thing. It's owned by NBC Universal. It's owned by Comcast, ultimately. They don't give a shit about street dates. They set street dates for media, so they don't have to abide by street dates. They are their own street dates. So the second that they get them in hand, they ship them. I had that a little bit over a week before it released.
Nice.
Yeah, we have shops like that around here. So we have a few shops in the city that the release, they usually get it 2 weeks before the release date.
Yeah.
And they just put, sometimes they have to pay a little fine, but the fine is nothing to them.
No, this isn't paying a fine. They just don't. It's the company that owns the material.
Right.
Yeah. So they just release them. They don't care. And you buy them, you probably pay an extra $1 or $2 or something like that. Like, I'll pay the extra $1 to get it 2 weeks in advance. I don't care.
I don't think you do pay the extra $1. Maybe the shipping.
Well, if I go to the shop, we got shops over here that
to
sell.
the shop. Oh yeah, to the
Yeah.
shop. Yeah.
So, I don't have to ship. I just have to go to the shop.
Yeah. Ooh, old school.
Yeah, I get all the live action figures from McFarlane, and I haven't gotten the 66 stuff yet. So I just got Batman and Robin are both finally here, so I decided to finally open them because I got the Batmobile.
The Batmobile, hell yeah.
Love the Bat. So last week I was in Garden State, and there was a replica of the Batmobile. It was sweet.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah. I had a nice Batmobile. He charged it up and everything.
I'm almost always about to buy the Batmobile Hot Wheels. Like, even the old ones, there's always like a set out there that always look very cool to me.
Yeah.
Why haven't you? It seems like you truly want it. You truly want it.
Well, I probably don't truly want it. It's a problem.
I don't know. It lingers.
Could it be the situation of you want it, but you don't want to actually put your money to buy it? So it's kind of like you accept it as a gift, kind of thing.
That's probably it. I mean, Hot Wheels just seem too expensive, to be honest. I don't know either. So.
What are they? A couple of dollars?
Well, like if you just buy one Hot Wheel, but those Batman ones seem like they're more than they should be. Or maybe it's like because it's like you can buy like a case of them, the whole like set. I think it's like $35 or $40. I might be wrong. I've looked in a while, but then you're like, do I really want to spend $40 on this? Even though it's like 5 Batmobiles and Batwing and stuff like that.
Okay, JustinComicx, what's your first name? I don't think I've ever had you on the stream. Seen you before.
Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, I pop in and out.
Okay.
I'm very prolific and then not prolific.
Prophylactic.
Yeah, something prolific.
You're very prolific.
I'm also prophylactic. Yeah. Like Crocs, I'm a natural prophylactic.
He's prolactic.
Back in the bedroom.
They
Yeah, but I don't know what time it's today or
I got
before or after.
I got my
hey,
I got bamboozled by the court for jury duty. So I was like, okay, so I just make my call in to see if I have to do, have to do it. In 2 weeks I have to start making the call. But then they right before Heroes Con, I get a call from like the clerk, and they're like, the judge wants to is asking me to call different jurists and ask a question. And I was like, okay. And she says, do you have any medical procedure or vacation scheduled for this week? And it was an opposite week of when my selection time was. And I said, well, no, I don't. And she's like, good. We're going to put you in a new group. You were no longer in group 75. You were in group 88. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? Well, you will still call that week. During that week, you still have to call in, but you have a higher potential to be on a 2-week trial. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, because you have agreed that you have nothing going on. If this, it's possible you may need 2 weeks. I was like, that sucks.
So why didn't you say anything? I would have been like, oh no, definitely.
Well,
I got a colonoscopy.
Because yeah, I mean, if I just said, look, I have a doctor's thing going on, they would check. They would make you. I mean, this woman is nuts.
So to be on a jury, you just need to be available.
Yeah.
What you could
just
say?
Just say you're a racist, and then they'll let you go.
No, that doesn't work anymore.
I'm hoping I don't get picked. I mean, we'll just
say you have explosive diarrhea syndrome. That
say
if you
have
sit too long in a jury, you could explode.
In your mind.
Let's put it this way. I did find out that the company I work for does pay me while I'm on jury duty. So I do like that part. And we're really slow right now, and it's kind of boring. And so, yeah, I'm not against.
You think jury duty is not going to be boring?
Well, it depends. If it's a good juicy murder trial or something, that would be awesome. But
not really. It's not as exciting as the TV makes it.
Yeah. Well,
it's not as exciting. You're not going to have situations like that.
We don't have a lot of that around here. Mostly, it'd probably be some type of drug thing if it was going to be anything big. But yeah, I just couldn't believe she bamboozled me like that. I was like, oh man.
You always say yes. I am doing something. It's my child's bar mitzvah. I don't know. See, you gotta come up with some good lines, man.
I'm not. You know who's better? Brother John is better at me than that. He just knows how to be quick with the comebacks and lies like that than I would.
Yeah, that's probably why you got the phone call. They probably called him and he said, "You know what?
I know a guy. I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I know a guy who's free.
He'll tell you he's free.
He's got nothing going on.
He got nothing going on.
Yeah,
My mom was on a jury. My mom was on a jury once where she's from a small town too, or lives there. But they picked her for the jury, and the person being tried, she had worked with her at Target. The mom of the person being tried, they still let her be on the jury.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's usually a definite no.
Yeah, it was some kind of robbery, and they he was guilty, so he was like, yeah.
That's like they worked in Disney World. Like everybody works in Disney World.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Huh. I don't know.
But yeah, she sort of knew. She sort of had like some connection. But I mean, the town she's in is like 40,000 people, so that's like not super small, but small enough that like you still got to pick people in apparently.
Right.
All right, duty calls. I gotta go, guys.
Bye.
Hey, Izzy.
It's that explosive diarrhea.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of
duty going there.
What are you doing, Chris? Where are you going?
Oh, are you talking? I'm gonna drive towards work.
That's a good idea.
Going to work. He's just driving
work is good.
Work. I don't know. I got on the stream and I didn't know what to do. I guess I could have just sat at home for another hour. I realized it's 6 a.m. and it's Friday, so I don't even have to be at work at 8 really.
So you're going to be in the car for an hour talking to us.
That means we got him for a while. We got him for
breakfast.
Chris, let's backtrack. Tell us how you like The Boys because it's character driven.
I think it is very character driven. In fact, more so than a lot of big ensemble pieces. I think Huey and that main character have had a lot of character development, and even Homelander was somehow evil and even more evil. I get what you're saying, and I get how that can turn some people off, but it's really close. To be honest, the Boys comic book was a lot more like that, but that's really close to, I forget his name, slips my mind, but that's really close to, no, not Mark. Did you say Mark Miller?
No, I said Garth Ennis.
Yeah, Garth Ennis. Yeah, it's really just the way Garth Ennis writes, especially old Garth Ennis, So, but, I've liked it. I've not been the biggest Boys fan. I watched through the 3rd season. I didn't watch the spin-off show, and I haven't watched the new season yet. But I haven't watched Acolyte. I haven't watched I haven't watched Bad Batch. I didn't watch, normally I watch all the Oscar movies. I just haven't watched TV that much this year.
Have you not watched The Acolyte solely because of Mark's review of it?
No. Mark's a big fan of Justice League and
Snyder Cut.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut and stuff. So that always works into my. I like to hear what Mark says, but that always works into my Mark formula.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of quality. Can't teach taste. Chris is
I'm a big fan of character-driven stuff too. You have to care about the characters, otherwise you're just watching crap.
Yeah, but I mean, like House of
Dragon. I'm not saying it's crap. I think it sets out to do something, and I think it does it, and it does it well. And it's just a preference thing for me. I don't think it's lacking quality. I think the Acolyte is lacking quality. I don't think The Boys is. It's not my jam. And being that it's something like how Jim pointed out, it's kind of a hurdle to even keep up with. I got small kids and this and that. It's just not worth the effort for me right now.
For what, The Boys? Yeah, that's why I don't watch The Boys right now. That's why I'm not like going out to watch that spin-off show or The Boys either. I remember season 2 that was with the Nazi girl, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my kid who's 6 now was 2 or 3. Maybe couldn't really get it, but we were watching the end that was extremely violent. And he was standing there watching it. I just was like, my dad would let me watch this and, all the horror movies and stuff, but it just feels weird today. So, you know, I even had to watch that, you know, low key. My wife doesn't even like them to watch Star Wars yet, so like just the prequel stuff. Yeah.
I was watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre with my dad when I was a little girl.
And
We
now
all
look
were
how-
watching
and now
that
look
kind
how
of
you're
stuff, but
dressed.
it's just different, you know.
And now look how you're dressed.
I know. I mean, does that make sense now?
Yeah.
And my book made me watch Clockwork Orange when I was 9. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we all did, but I before I had kids, I would have told you that I would have done the same thing. And then, but today you have kids, and you're like, I'm not gonna let them watch this shit, even though I did.
Then you actually want to protect them.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to, survive. I mean, I don't know that it is actually as big of a deal. You know, like I listened to rap music and was cutting people's heads off in Mortal Kombat. And stuff. You know, like most people are fine. You know, but it just feels weird now to like
you
watch
get
The Boys with your 2-year-old.
desensitized to it.
Yeah, not saying that it's going to ruin them, but it's like, why would I willingly, like, hey, look at this. This is what we think is cool, little
I'm
kid.
not saying that he's a psycho, but he does wear his polo shirt buttoned all the way up to the top.
All the way.
Oh, you're actually right. But my undershirt was showing, and it bothered me earlier. But you are right about that. It's like that looks a little
why
weird.
are you wearing
I
an
thought I
undershirt?
Huh? Because it's going to be 113 degrees.
Yeah. So why are you wearing an undershirt? Aren't you going to be hotter?
No.
You are. Well, number one, if you live in Vegas, you spend 99% of your time in
indoor
air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, but then you also, the 10% you don't, you sort of, don't want like even that little 10%, you don't just want to sweat in all your shirts and destroy them really. So you do wear an undershirt for that reason. If I worked outside, I probably would.
Okay.
You're not a dude. You don't understand. You're not a dude.
I know. I never understood the undershirt with the dudes, and they're like, "No, I need the undershirt. It's going to cover my hair, or it's going to."
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with that.
Even that.
It has
The
nothing
one
to do
that doesn't make sense is the one that doesn't make sense is the tank top wife beater one. That one doesn't make sense. That's just there for fun.
Yeah.
No. How is it any? What the little? Do you think this little bit of sleeve makes a difference?
Well, no, but it
does for the sweat part.
Yeah, it does for the sweat
If
part.
you're talking about your pants, maybe, but the whole purpose of undergarments wasn't necessarily to do that. It had to do with transferring the dirt and oils and stuff from your body to your outer clothes, which are the clothes that you want to preserve and wear longer. And so that you wore undergarments to get all that stuff, to keep that separation, that will allow you to preserve.
I'm just saying the sleeves are a big part of that, though.
Yeah.
The armpit is a big part of that part.
Yeah.
What you just said.
Yep.
As a
like
man
my belly doesn't
strongly in
sweat.
my tanks, I say no.
Yeah. I wear them to the gym.
Speaking of underwear, Taylor Winder, Rob, are you boxers or briefs?
Boxer briefs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about the trading. What the fuck's the name? The bare naked shit with the
banana hammock.
I love to help you up. I don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
Just say you want to have your boys fly, but you want them to be, not going buck wild. You want a little bit of support there. It's okay.
Duluth Trading Company. I'm all about the Duluth Trading Company and their the boxer briefs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Separate.
Yeah. Well.
Uh-oh. TM Nerdy has it out for you, Chris.
What's wrong with it?
What's up, TM Nerdy?
Oh, except for you, Chris. I love it.
What do you say?
He said hello to this good-looking panel, except you, Chris.
Oh. Well, I'll start cosplaying too. Let's see if I can change his mind.
You wear the same outfit.
Oh my God, that would be precious.
Actually, I have a picture of Chris in cosplay.
Me in cosplay? Do you really?
I do. Let me find it.
Is it the same outfit?
There it is.
Oh, there we go. I was like, what kind of spies does Mark have out on the street?
He was fresh shaved in that photo. That's why you couldn't tell. No scruff. No scruff.
That was the Christmas party. That's how I was dressed.
Yeah. Shit gets weird in Arizona. Chris, you been watching House of Dragons?
Yeah, that's great.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
I mean, some people didn't like the first one. You know what it does remind me of a little bit though is a lot of people didn't watch this, but for Sopranos fans, people that watch Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, yeah.
When you watch Boardwalk Empire, it was great, but they really turned up the stuff that you really liked in Sopranos. Like they're already killing kids and shit in House of the Dragon.
Yeah, but
yeah. So in some ways it's to me, in some ways that's more of shock value than like a guy walking through urethra in The Boys, right? But
I mean, I don't. That's like 1,000% disagree. With at least with what I meant by shock value. I did specify like shocking death sequences. Not just like story wise. There's nothing in my mind that I've seen more shocking in any of the Game of Thrones than the two guys sneaking into the prince's room, forcing the mom to identify the prince, and then proceeding to slowly decapitate him. Like that was.
Well, I still think crazy. That.
What about when Jamie threw Bran out of the tower on the first season of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but that was like
that was shocking.
He got better.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, the one game for some reason people forget about the. I thought it was worse. The kid that they killed in Game of Thrones was worse. The one that they burned alive. People forget about that one.
Yeah, the girl.
Because you had 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, you had 2 or 3 seasons of character.
For the Fire Lord, when they did it for the Fire Lord.
Yeah, and they just burnt her alive. I thought that was even worse than the one in House of the Dragon.
It's the Lord of Light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've been going back through rewatching Game of Thrones because House of the Dragon hit so hard. You just want more of that world, And since Sunday, I'm on season 4, episode 3 already.
Wow.
Nice.
Already. Yeah.
Well, I worked at 11-hour shifts at a grooming table where I could throw headphones in and just kind of like casually like peek over and listen the whole time. It's more like Game of Thrones podcast.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Even better for that kind of job when you're rewatching something.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't feel. That's how I feel about. I don't rewatch or reread stuff, but sometimes I feel better. Because I don't have to worry about like paying attention so much. You sort of casually watch.
I rewatched the Game of Thrones before House of the Dragon season 2 came out again too.
The whole thing.
I really enjoyed it so much, and it's been a while since I'd seen it.
I'm interested to see if having seen it, if I'll have like some kind of like disdain for the later seasons when I get. I mean, I'm in 4 already, but. Like, I'm curious to see if I'll like be able to see the writing on the wall of it, jumping the shark and kind of getting ahead of the books, Well,
it really jumped the shark at the end, really that last season. And I didn't even hate the whole thing. It's just too fast.
The last episode was too fast. The last season.
Well, the last season, like closing up plot lines, to me, that just happened too fast. But I didn't mind it. I've also read comic books my whole life. And, sometimes the writer's writing something. Yeah. And then they're like, sorry, it's not selling, but we're going to let you wrap it up. And then they, they do it too quickly. And it's
also like that. Isn't that
that's
kind of
called Krakoa, by the way? That's called the Krakoan era, where they're like, oh, we got to wrap it up. Okay, let's do real fucking quick.
Isn't that kind of like just common though? Like how many times?
Almost
always. I mean, there's a lot of people that review content these days, and not all of them, by any stretch of the imagination, review stuff for a living or too nuanced at it. And one of the most common criticisms you hear of stuff is it was too fast. They rushed it. It's like one of those things that people like, you don't know how to put your finger on the specifics, but you can always feel like, yeah, it was rushed. But I think that's normal with anything that comes to some kind of conclusion more often than not. There's very few things out there that you can apply the finale felt rushed, but I think that's just a natural feeling of closing stuff. It's just, there's all these plot points, like no matter how you close them, you've just closed countless plot points.
You're right about that, but there's also the concept of comics and Game of Thrones where it just felt like we're gonna just keep going, with no ending in sight. Some things they knew they were gonna end, like Sandman comic, and you know what I mean? Like Neil Gaiman knew when to end it, even though it was still very popular, and and so when they decided they were gonna end Game of Thrones, it was like this decision. That was pretty quick when they had all these like things dangling, which happens in comics too, and it's just the nature of serialization, I guess, but
I like open-ended stuff too, though. Like I absolutely love open-ended finales to stuff. And just a good way of thinking about it. Like The Dark Knight, the second Christopher Nolan Batman movie, it ended with like a high speed chase, like with them chasing down Batman. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it ended. Like no conclusion to. Obviously, you know he's going to get away, but yeah, you're now left with thinking, what is the dynamic of the city now? And anything that's open ended, I appreciate more. You can close off like the minor plot points here and there, but I just love it when you can discuss and just think about forever. Like wonder what comes next. I wonder what comes next. And as long as you have that feeling, you're wanting more. You're asking for more, whether they give you more or not. That property kind of just lives on. It still burns, you know what I mean? It's just simmering until the next time someone picks it up and shits on it.
Did you enjoy Lost, Mark? The ending of Lost?
Yeah. Fuck yes. I think Lost is one of the single greatest television shows to ever be made.
Okay. I enjoyed it.
Were you watching it? Were you guys watching it while it was new?
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching it. It in DVD box sets as they were releasing.
As they were releasing. That's more or less as it was new.
Well, that was like in the late 2000 early aughts when like the formula for stuff, you know, is it comes on TV once a week. You're not getting reruns. Where the box set will come out a month or two before the next season releases, and you can watch it that way. So I didn't watch a lot of TV as it released. I watched some, but that was the golden era of television, like Sons of Anarchy and Lost. And
wasn't there a lot of reality TV though during that time too? And I was really kind of worried for Lost at that time because it wasn't reality TV, and they were trying to like make a scripted show, something exciting again, you know?
Yeah, I think. I think it's just golden age of TV all around there. I was working at Movie Stop back then. That's when I was a store manager at Movie Stop, and like the excitement and hype around television shows releasing on physical media. People who didn't have like paid television, they didn't have like HBO or Showtime. They would line up. Like I was working there when Game of Thrones released. I remember going to one of our manager conferences, and like all the production studios were there, like actual studios. Like with stuff that's not out yet, this and that. And the store managers were gifted a physical media press packet pretty much where you got like the first 3 episodes of Game of Thrones on a disc before it released and stuff. And we were able to watch those early. And it was just cool. It was fun to watch these shows, talk about them, theorize on what could happen next. God forbid they have like a cliffhanger to the episode and you're like stuck for a week having to wonder if your favorite character lived or died. Like going like experiencing television shows and storytelling like that collectively is like, you can't convince me that the shit we get these days is good. Like for the vast majority of it, not all of it at all, but you cannot convince me that binging or like binge releases are good for the industry. You can
but weren't you watching Lost like a binge release then?
It's because I couldn't watch it week by week. You know, I didn't have cable. Like I was already a cord cutter back then.
I mean, I haven't had cable since
and I also wasn't in a collective that was tracking Lost and talking Lost. The stuff that I would go to like watch parties for stuff or hang out at friends' house for like my group of friends for the stuff that. Because you know, like this wasn't like
you were big on Grey's Anatomy watch parties. You look like
yeah, pretty much. Not after being married, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah. But like the stuff that we were in, like Smallville, I watched as it released. I would go to my friend Brent's house and we'd watch it at his house. It was his mom's house down the road. We'd meet up at, and like we grew up together. But there's different stuff I watched like that, and a lot of stuff that I didn't. But we also weren't on Facebook like that. There was no social media or streaming where you're talking about it and having it spoiled like it was. Yeah.
My problem with those shows is, man, I just don't like. I try to watch Lost. Here, I love 24, and I don't think I would like 24 today. I think I think I would have all the dialogue problems I had with like Secret Empire or whatever, and probably that I'll have with Acolyte when I watch it.
Oh god!
You know what? Because I tried to watch Lost, and then I thought it was really dumb the first season, and then I jumped in on the 5th season, I think 5th or 6th.
And was Lost?
Just to watch a few episodes, just to go, okay, where am I going? You know, because also I know about Lost is that, you know, I have a 10 season, and this is mid 2000s era where it's not just 8 episodes either.
20 something.
Right? Yeah, you know, and I just couldn't get into it. I have a feeling that I would not like 24 either, and that was a huge 24.
Well, the cool thing for me about Lost is like, you know, like back then the formula, they had to get a season through an actual season. Like you would live with this show for an entire spring, winter, fall, or summer. But Lost didn't really waste it. They had that unique format to it. Like every 2 episodes were pretty much the time span of 1 episode. They had so many characters that they would format it in a sense. You'd follow Jack and Kate in this episode, and then the next episode you'll be with Sawyer through that same block of time kind of thing. What he was doing there, and just that was pretty smart. And they also didn't waste it like having such a massive sized lore for that show. They built that world out and had so many like heavily invested on mysteries, and some of them turned out to be nothing. And I think
that's what I don't like, though. I think they were just like writing for, then they just couldn't fill out plot lines either. Maybe that's sort of what you were saying, like, oh, here's this open-ended stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
but at some point it was like there was no plan.
It gets interesting. Well, you hit the writer strike with Lost in season like 6 or 7, I think. But before then, like, just think of the hatch. How important was the hatch? But like you were wondering what was in there, you're trying to crack into it. And John Locke, it was his sole purpose. And when that played out, John Locke represented the viewer at that point, and he felt the same way we did, but exacerbated tenfold. And
what was in the hatch? Did we find out what was in the hatch?
I don't want to tell you, but like the viewer's reaction is mirrored in John Locke, who felt it even more because he's actually there. He's not just watching it. He's the one living it and struggling it and trying to figure it out. I don't know. It was just good.
Didn't they have to press a button like every 33 minutes or something too? And Lost for no reason, really.
The things there's a reason to everything, but it's just not always how we thought it was going to be.
But in Lost, there's not a reason to everything. I think is what the problem was. That wasn't
the problem because
you got to remember what John, like, just going back to the hatch, what like John Locke was whole stouting, like he was like doing this whole like season on like faith and this and that, not like religious faith, but just like believing in something beyond what you can see and everything. And I don't know. Yeah, good question, AR. Why did the statue have 4 toes?
I think I watched the first season and then I don't know, life came into play and I just never went back to it.
Pornhub was created. What was I going to say about the 4 toes? I forgot. Never mind. I bet there's a lot of good Lost fan fiction though, like on like fanfiction.com or something like that, where people just churn stuff out.
Probably.
Some of that's pretty high quality.
Yeah. Oh, you found it now. All right, let's see if I can get this in here.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta get ready to start digging. I got some places to hit.
That's what you should have told the jury duty people. I
gotta dig.
I
gotta dig. I can't make it that week. I'm going to Florida or something like that. They would have.
You know who I am? I'm Digger motherfucking Jim.
Yeah. And then you should have showed up that weekend around the courthouse, digging around the courthouse.
That's what I imagine you're going to be doing, like during your break time. Like you'd be taking your metal detector around the courthouse for sure, looking for stuff.
Man, I wish.
Seems like a good mafia scene where they're gonna like try to like sway your vote, but you're just out digging.
Yeah.
Actually, Jim, it's not a bad idea around the courthouse. There's probably a lot of women and men who are just taking their wedding rings and just throwing them off.
Oh yeah, that's true.
As they're leaving the court.
You just tell them. Show up with your shovel and your digging clothes and tell him that you're there to make sure that he's convicted and you're ready to bury the body.
to bury the body. There you go. There you go. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Jim.
Bye.
I'm out too, guys. Go read a little bit.
Bye, Chris.
See ya. Bye.
Opportunities. Where's this one? Sorry, I'm working at the set. I'm working. I can't see what's going on right now.
I found a pint of blood.
You don't need a pint of blood.
Read the ingredients of that.
Now, first of all, it says safe, non-hazardous, non-toxic, which is what I was hoping when I was putting it in my mouth and letting it dribble out for pictures.
I was hoping it was non-toxic.
Yes. But you know what I was thinking? I remember back in the day, like how they used to make blood for horror movies. I think they used to use like corn syrup, my mom said, and food coloring, right? Corn syrup, because it's thicker and stickier. And I was thinking about making up a concoction of that or something to to sip on. You know.
I do recall.
It.
I do recall as in maybe it was like in high school doing some film project, and we did so. It was some sort of mafia based thing, and we had made a fake blood for something, and everything else. I remember half the team going down to the Safeway or the supermarket, whatever, and going around asking what cleaning product is best for removing blood from walls, because we got blood splatter on the walls of the house we were filming in, and we had to clean it. And they're like, "Oh, they barely even missed a beat," and they're just like, "Oh, here, simple green." Yeah, don't use watered down ketchup. Don't use that.
No.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know, Mark, did you escape the con without getting any con cred?
Every time.
You're a lucky man.
How much did you say you guys raised at the booth during TNS
over 5,000. I always get like worn out, but that's not limited or exclusive to the con. It's just because it's my off weekend, and I'm working a 4-day shift of busting my ass. On that point, though, I have had somebody reach out to me and pay me to run promotional stuff for them. So I'm going to do that now. If y'all will just check out this short video and consider whatever it is. Stop it early because he never uses license-free music.
And I have to go back and double check, but I could have sworn when I read the awards, there wasn't an award for editing. There's an award for content about editing and stuff. So it means you'd have to make videos about doing editing and other production quality stuff for your.
So there's going to need to be an award next year for best wording of the awards, because the wording is off apparently.
I mean, let me go look. Now I'm curious.
I haven't done my voting yet, but we can take a look at the CBC awards that Brian LCS. Hey, look, here we go. There's Brian. Just updated the list of nominated channels and creators, over 400 so far. That's excessive. I dropped a link to the CBC awards. You can check out the CBC awards and go vote for your favorite channel on all kinds of places, stuff, and things.
So here's the description. It's called Best Editing, but the description says demonstrates video, audio, and or voiceover skills. Which, of course, voiceover skills.
That's not showing you how to do it. This channel is a demonstration of those things. That sounds worded correctly to me. For
a demonstration would be like teaching and presentation on how to edit.
Say for doing a demonstration, it says it demonstrates.
Oh, maybe. Okay. I don't know. It's definitely very clear.
You demonstrate good facial hair. You're not showing me how to do it myself. You're not teaching me, but and you damn sure ain't really doing it this morning. It looks like you slept face down last night.
I've been sleeping in the recliner for the past 5 days because I've been fucking coughing up shit.
Oh.
You just got like the allergy stuff?
No, I've got fucking this. It started off as like congestion. Now I got just fucking phlegm in my chest and coughing up all kinds of crap.
Yeah, I was taking medicine like the entire week, and I was switching between Tylenol and Advil, and popping Zyrtec left and right, because dust and stuff gets me going, and people shuffling and moving tens of thousands, comic boxes and old books and this and that. I don't care how big that room was. It was rough McGruff. But I didn't catch a con crud.
I don't know. I thought it started off like that way or something, because it started off as like kind of just a lot of congestion, and it just moved, and then now I'm finally getting to the point where it seems to be less. I'm not I've gotten through this show with only having to minimally take myself off camera to go cough and spit up shit, but there's it's still happening, and it's annoying as fuck.
Yeah. The Godfather says he has 3 migraines for me this week. And I used to get migraines when I'm allergic to dust too. If I was in a really dusty place, I get a horrible migraine.
All right. Well, anyways, I guess I misinterpreted what that award was. Okay. I read it.
Are you going to be upset if you're not nominated for best facial hair?
Why?
I don't know.
I've been nominated every year and I never win. So what difference? I don't care.
Susan Lucci of the comic book community.
They can, and it's not even an award that I care about one way or the other. So, I mean, if I won it and that was the only award I'd win, I'd be like, oh, okay, great, thanks.
Can I suggest something for Comics Curing Cancer?
Sure.
If we raise enough money, would you do something fun?
No, I'm not shaving off any of my facial hair.
No, that's not what I was going to suggest.
I'm just making sure we're clear here.
No,
right
but I was going to suggest a nice temporary dye. A nice hot pink would be nice. It would really bring out the white down there. You could maybe just do half pink, dip it in just so
you know the problem. I'll tell you something. Your regular hair dye doesn't work on your beard.
You can do the spray and wash out just to get like a fun little one stream out of it, then just water rinse it off.
Yeah, I think a hot pink goatee mustache thing on you. That would be...
If you do blue, it'll look like you just went down on a Smurf.
You are a weird little man.
There's just one Smurf, though.
I've never argued that.
No, there's lots of Smurfs, but only one's a female.
I know. It's just that poor girl.
And he didn't specify.
I always felt bad for Smurf.
No, I was doing the
equality thing. Or do you feel happy for her?
No, I feel bad for her.
It's just a point of well, not saying that like every single one of those Smurfs is getting any.
Curveball, it was bashful.
What you didn't know is that really she's a lesbian.
And, she's really much Smurf.
Getting any. Until they met the Snorks, and then, well.
Oh, I love the Snorks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was funny. It's actually we were talking about last night. It was like, about. I don't know how the topic of Bob came up, and I said like, I would never go by the name Bob, and my wife said, "Yeah, you're right. No, don't use the name Bob." And so then it was this whole thing like if I started using the name Bob, then I'd have to shave off my goatee, and that's how you'd know then that was like the evil me from another parallel universe. It's Bob with no goatee. That story was more interesting last night.
What's up?
What's up, Lady Fantastic?
Man, I'm tired. It's Friday, and
I'm tired.
How's the new place coming along?
There's a $12,000 plumbing job that I'm having done.
Oh,
ouch! That was unexpected, and I'm sure.
It was not expected. I've learned about cast iron plumbing.
Oh.
And we're having I think the popcorn ceilings have come down. The painting has been done. Next week, I think the flooring's going to be put in. So I just want to get out of this place I'm living. I'm cohabitating with my mother, and it's fucking awful.
Yes, wow. I can completely commiserate with that. I feel for you. That is not where you want to be.
This is the first time since I've been 18, and it's just like I feel like I'm always in her way. But whatever.
So are you like basically redoing your whole house? The whole thing?
Yes.
The scratch, like you're doing everything exactly how you want it?
All the carpet came up. I like cut out part of the kitchen. Like it's looking really nice.
That's awesome. What are you gonna do to the kitchen?
Well, we've cut out like this. We cut out part of the wall to make it look more open, and now I'm gonna get like one of those sucker ends that suck out the air.
A vent?
A vent. And get like maybe a convection oven instead of like a tradish.
Why a convection oven?
Because it makes so much good shit.
I mean, I have
an air fryer.
To use a convection oven on my oven. I never use it.
Oh, bro.
Why not?
Ever.
Make vegetables with it. It makes the best vegetables.
Really?
Well, a convection oven just is an oven that has a fan in it.
It
circulates the air, so it's gonna be a more even temperature throughout, and typically doesn't have to use as much heat to get the same the same cooking job on it. So like a mine, if you put it on convection and use it the temperature to 325, it only heats up to 300. It automatically adjusts.
He knows, but I don't know. I like it. It's been good.
What color countertops is your kitchen?
So I think I'm wanting kind of like a marble color, you know.
Yeah.
Like
What
marble.
color is that?
Do a light white marble. with some, like,
Granite, yeah. So probably whiter with some black striations.
some crystally stuff in it.
Some shiny shit. But I've not been able to do comic stuff lately, but I have gotten one comic in that I'm really excited about. Prototype of Black Panther. Two Gun Kid, number 77. Thank you, Tony Sanders. Tony Sanders hooked me up with this, and I was very excited. Very, very excited. Also, a really cool one I found, and it's like me and Madam pulling the hair. No, I'm just kidding. It's Mark and Rob. Maybe Mark and Beckerman.
Which one is which? Which one is which?
Wait, hold on. This is Beckerman, and that's you. But if it was you and Rob, that would probably be you, and Rob would be like, "No violence." I'm just kidding.
Curveball. Rob's a very violent individual.
I know.
He beat DJ both at the booth.
Is he? He would come at you. No, Rob seems like chill. Except
Rob's always encouraging violence and
no.
insurrections.
I think Rob is.
What?
I don't think
Rob's. You're mixing me up with somebody else.
I think. Speaking of which, I
may take things down a dark road potentially, sure, but at the end of the day, I'm like a giant mastiff. You know, you look intimidating, but you don't care because you know you're intimidating.
I found this random mix. Looks like Dr. Fate in the background, like Doctor Strange and I don't know what it is. It's an amalgam, so I don't know. It's from the Mixed Up where they cross. I don't know, whatever.
Interesting.
But this has been probably one of the hardest things I've had to do in the last 25 years of my life.
I'm sorry. Just try to hold your tongue. You're doing a good job. Count the minutes and the days, okay? You'll be out there soon.
Well, yeah, it's just I think we're both very solitary creatures that like our space, and we
two cats put in the same kennel.
Dude, Rob, I told my dad about this situation, and he started gut laughing to the point of tears. He's like, "You'll love it," and I'm like, "You're an asshole, Dad."
So the real question is, if I was to look in your recycling bin, how many bottles of alcohol?
I bought it. I used the devil's lettuce. Satan shrubbery. Yeah.
Or the peace pipe.
Yeah. But it'll be okay, and I'm learning things that I never thought I would learn. But
what did you do that you wanted to learn?
That I did not.
Are you learning patience?
That is one of the things that I'm learning.
Yeah, who wants to learn that? That's
tolerance.
You with these annoying sentiments you have.
I know, but left-handed cigarettes is what I'd. Yeah, skeeter legs. But yeah, it's been all right. I'm gonna be excited when it's done because I'm trying to like work and do this, and with my mom, I don't know.
Maybe you should give your mom a job. But maybe you can like help assign her some duties to help you with your house.
She has been. She's awesome.
On your video game team.
What about? Oh no, she doesn't do that.
I know that's what you need to do, though. You need to get her on your video game team. That way, she gets into it, and like if she's getting on your nerves, you just put the headphones on her and say bye.
And that way, you can hate that game and not play again.
The last game I got my mom into, the last video game I got my mom into was in the 2nd grade, and it was Tetris.
There you go. You already got figured out.
Yeah. So, what's been going on in y'all's world? What's been going on in the comic world? Because I've been a little unplugged lately.
Comic world,
I
like
guess
of the books, or just
Yeah, any crazy news?
because I read books. We can talk
Yeah.
Oh,
books.
You read
did you read,
books?
but comic
Yeah,
kind?
I've got
Or
many tomes, leather bound books,
yeah. Does it smell of rich mahogany?
and rosewood.
Mm.
got a couple cool older books recently
Show me.
in my Jack B box.
I want to show me.
Show me. You read. Those are the wrong ones. These are the newer books. Let me move these out of the way. Out of the way.
Show us some old shit, Rob.
How often do you change your wall of comics, Rob?
Regularly.
Oh, depends what
Because
I
I
get.
see the new
These
Starfish.
these ones weren't too old, but I like these Diesel Punk DC Bombshells
yeah.
covers.
Yeah, they're fun.
I use
like
a DC Bombshell box for my Jang stuff. For one of them, I
those are
love
very
the
cool.
DC Bombshell.
The Bombshell covers are super fun and
Some
campy.
weird Wonder Tales.
Those are good
How
stuff.
weird! That's weird.
And Wonder Ring.
There's another one.
That's weird too.
Number 1. Oh wow.
It's so weird. I can't even tell what's going on.
Who did that cover? I really like it.
I don't know, but they're weird.
Oh, you were gaming last night, Marcus?
I'd have to look it up.
Do you play Fortnite?
Space War #1.
Oh, that's actually dope.
The Sun Maker.
Publish that, Rob.
Naruto Moontrap.
What's that?
Who's the publisher on that?
Charlton.
Charlton.
So it's looking like a little red triangle there.
Yeah, Charlton. Old Charlton is red triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Gasp.
I did.
That's sick. You're too old to play Fortnite. Hell no, I didn't play. So what did you play?
I got my Frankenstein cover for my frickin' Invaders finally.
Hey,
so only
nice.
one issue left I need to get.
Kick ass. Frankenstein.
Monsters on the Prowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
This is the first. What's your name? Is that call? Is that the first call?
No.
Monsters on the Prowl are reprints.
Unknown Worlds. It's a more American comic group.
Almost looks like Wonder Man.
I like that one.
Some Space Family Robinson Lost in Space. UFO Flying Saucers.
I like that one. And it's got the glass bubble heads that you like.
Yep. And then this one I couldn't believe was in the box was Mystery in Space issue 12.
So does like Jack B kind of just like pick up collections and stuff throughout the year and then just curate boxes with the stuff he doesn't PC or what?
Maybe, I don't know. But it's pretty crazy.
Does anybody like I don't know Jack B outside from hearing his name and making his boxes, but first Sabretooth. He does he ever do like streams or is he just on Instagram? I'm not familiar with him.
Well, his YouTube's got like a couple vids, mostly of like some books, stuff that's going to be coming up for sale or whatever.
Yeah, I've been playing Fortnite for 2 months basically, and I'm way too old for it, and I don't care because you just shoot people, and that's
talking
fun.
Trash to kids.
Yes, I've been learning so much new slang and so much like the kids, the shit they say. That was a get from Heroes, right?
Heroes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Heroes get. I got some home insurance paperwork here if you want to see it. It's nice comic.
We got one of these. Did you get one of these?
Yeah, that's nice. He's got one in the background.
Yeah. My metal one's in the garage.
Well, that's sickness.
But this is the one that's we still have a very limited supply remaining, available at djlinks.bigcartel.com.
You should be able to find the Comics Curing Cancer direct little clicky button down below in the description.
There you go, even better.
I think Large and Ceiling from Footwork. Yeah, Esteban, it's for real. So like sweaty, like, oh, it's so sweaty in here, or they're bots. So if you say it's sweaty, that means it's like really tough and people are really good. And if you say, oh, these are just a
I would
bunch
have
of
thought it went if it was hot or something.
yeah, I know, like what it actually was defined to mean. But
It's just like, hey, Gen Z, you know what this means? It means freaking thumbs up. That's all it means.
do they get like offended when you do that?
Yeah, I think it's like means like I think it's like a middle finger somehow. It's like, no, that's that. This is that. See the difference?
This finger identifies as a middle finger.
That's right. It's got different pronouns now.
Yep.
No, and then what else? What else? Yeah, bots mean that if you say, oh, they're bots, it means they suck. Because you're likening them to the bots that are just like algorithms. I don't know. It's weird. Fortnite too, yeah. They're strange, but I like them. I like the young people. They're all right. The kids are all right. You know,
Kids are all right. You think so?
You know, society is going down when "try hard" is used in an insult. Is it? Is that an insult?
Yeah, they do. I hear my kids say it like that.
Really?
Like he's a try hard or what?
No, it's like try hard. Just like, in other words, like you're not even fucking. You suck. You need to fucking try. So you're trying to, I guess.
Oh, like you're lazy or something.
Not even that you're lazy. No, it's just that you suck. It's a way of saying that you suck.
You blow.
Why'd you?
I don't get it. I'm just not cool. Mark? You only have like older systems. Do you have a new system?
I bought Finn a Nintendo Switch. Well, I bought Finn and Monkey a Switch when they finished school this year.
How is their response to it?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Like you can catch him outside and catch me trying to keep him from having a heat stroke.
What's up, Carlito?
He picks it up and he dickers around on it every now and then. I like that it has like the portable function to it. He just wanted to play some Minecraft stuff. Kids in school talk about Minecraft and all that, and I don't want him to be a little weird kid who doesn't get to do anything that everyone else is into.
Yeah, like you, because you don't want him. No. No, I get it. Kids are intense with the Minecraft.
Yeah.
If you're try hard, it means you're trying too hard at something that's easy for trash guys. Saying, okay. Like I would, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, I am. Just wait another 100 years and I'll get better than you.
Big sis, I'm glad you're here. Speaking of 100 years, let's talk about hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Have you been watching House of the Dragon?
No.
Oh, I hate it for you.
Dude.
So far, everyone who's come on not only watches it, but just have sing its praises. It's amazing.
Don't.
Dude.
I said everyone who's come on who's watched it, Rob.
Everyone who's come on. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you said everyone's come on, watched it.
Everyone's come on, Rob.
You should have some clips and force people to watch it.
So, legitimately, I clipped already the final scene to the first season, the big death scene.
Yes.
And then I'm like, there's no way I'm spoiling that for people who haven't seen it. Yeah. No fucking way. When something's so shockingly good and you're like, yo, did they really just do that? You're like, you need people to give them the opportunity to experience it.
Like the Red Wedding. The Red Wedding was such an enjoyment and such a surprise, right? That you didn't want to ruin it for other people. You just got to watch the episode.
Yeah. And I've gotten through the Red Wedding for the, I've seen it a handful of times, but like going from like season 1, episode 1 straight through again, this is the second time I've watched it. And it's still knowing it's coming, literally knowing it's coming. Like I felt sick to my stomach. I'm like, oh man, it still hits. I'm like, oh my God. Like there's you 100% know how it's going to go down. And you still have this subconscious part of you that's hoping it'll be different this time. Like, and it just never is.
Yo, I tried to watch Game of Thrones. My brother, like years ago, I watched the episode where she queefed a cloud of black and a fucking the dragon egg came out her hoo-ha. And I said, I'm done. This is stupid.
I don't remember that.
I don't think that happened.
Dude,
No.
the dragon lady was in a fucking tent, and like a black cloud came out of her hoo-ha, and then like a dragon came out. It was like an egg. It was stupid.
I don't remember that part.
I do remember when she was pregnant and she like bought into the blood magic, and it cost Caldrago his life, and they were attempting to save him, but like it's a life for a life, and she lost the kid that came out deformed. They don't really show you.
A black cloud came out of her hoo-ha, and I said,
and I remember when the red lady, the fire priestess, literally birthed a black cloud that was also like magic, and that cloud wasn't a dragon egg. It had the face of Stannis Baratheon and went and killed his brother.
She queefed a black cloud, and the black cloud like had agency, and I'm like,
I remember something about a woman as a black cloud and stuff, but I don't remember it being. I remember
It's not connected to a dragon.
It was a completely different person.
It was the red.
I thought it was Cersei.
The red witch did the whole magic thing, and like the
she had
demon,
blonde hair.
She had the she conjured a demon basically to go assassinate. Renly.
Names. It's all names. I don't know what you're talking. It's been a while since I watched.
You're missing out, Rob. You're missing out.
And if you remember,
I watched the original
that
Game of Thrones, the first 4 seasons, and then that was it. I stopped, and that was more than you were going to get from me for.
That's fair.
Well, you shouldn't have quit. You're a quitter, Rob. You're a quitter, and
Am
you
I?
should have in there.
I watched all
Stannis
the stuff. I watched
and
all the parts that had been
Melisandre's.
adapted from the original content.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the stuff that went. I've never heard anything great about season 5.
Stannis and the Red Witch is Melisandre's.
It was a black queef.
It was literally, she literally gave birth. He got her pregnant. They like copulated
blood and stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
copulated.
They did that with some magic involved and to create that demon thing.
You mean the cloud queef?
Yeah, the cloud queef demon.
The dark cloud queef.
Dude, this is highbrow analysis on highbrow TV,
which is actually the same way the Acolyte was born.
I don't even know who that is.
little force babies.
Moving right along.
I said moving right along.
I've been watching.
I didn't just say it. I sang it. All of it.
Moving right along. The parallels, they're all there. Oh,
give me my Studebaker with a.
What's up, Bogsy?
What up, Will?
The old Dr. Goldteeth. Electric Mayhem.
Here we go. With the library card and the Libby app, you can listen to your area's collection of Game of Thrones books today. I suggest the Duncan Egg. It's the short, happy one.
So
that's how I describe AR to people who've never met him. He's the short, happy one.
He is a happy one.
Yeah, I love his optimism.
It's infected.
He has it, so I don't have to.
Okay, he's got it for you.
Mm-hmm. He's got it for all of us.
Yeah.
People are blessed with happiness.
Oh God! I also this past Friday I lost my driver's license. So
like you misplaced it, or you lost it to the law?
Oh no, I misplaced it. Like I lost my copy.
DUI?
No.
Oh.
No.
Thought you were suspended or something.
What is going on, homie?
I misplaced my driver's license, so I looked up because apparently you can get your copies made at little kiosks, and you don't have to deal with the DMV themselves. And I got it to you. Two different. I went to 2 different places. One was a public library, and one was a police precinct. That
did you say library?
Library.
That's what I heard.
I said
library.
It came out as library, and a library.
Which is like a corral that you keep books in, much like a livery.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's the opposite of a truthberry.
Mm-hmm. So
there's other as well.
And
go ahead.
Both kiosks were not working.
I'm still here for you. 2 kiosks not working.
Yeah. Then I went to the DMV and waited 3.5 hours to get a copy of a driver's license. The cops were called there because there was a black lady that who was so frustrated with the slow rate of processing, that she basically just started screaming the truth, which I think, but they called security on her, and they couldn't really arrest her because she didn't do anything illegal. She was just telling the truth. But at the end, the two cops that came were like going to the husband who didn't say a word and was like, "Dude, get your wife in check." Pretty funny.
That's hilarious. Like, what's he supposed to do?
I know, but it was like she was.
Then they can arrest somebody.
So, Perry, I could order a new license online, but I just recently changed my address, and if you do
So
that,
you have to go down.
you have to go in person.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff now that like the DMV won't let you go down to the DMV for almost any. Very few things can we do at the DMV anymore. Yeah, they're trying to keep people away from going in.
I don't blame them.
Which is good because
now you can find.
The problem is the computer systems the DMV has are like from 1984, and it's like
it's a first come first serve. It populates first come first serve, and
we have a lot of
terrible.
appointments. But even when you go there for appointments, you still end up there. It's still an hour you're there or something like ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it was insane. But anyways,
I'm so glad. That's why I've been really happy for all the other things that you do with it. Yeah. No, but losing your license is not cool because then people they got access to certain. Well, at least it's all your old address and stuff. I guess it's limit. It just your name and date of birth is all they got on there.
Yeah, I didn't put. You can choose to put like more sensitive info on there, but I never do. I'm always like, no. Just
Are you an organ donor, Caroline?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody
or nobody wants them, but
yeah. What am I going to do with them when I'm dead? I don't care.
No, I don't need them anymore.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Mark, are you an organ donor?
Mark's busy.
Mark's talking. Just fam.
Mark, are you an organ donor?
Yes.
I'm not.
You're not?
I'll tell you why. Because
you like to eat the hearts instead? Because
I fear that when they're harvesting my organs, I know they put you under anesthesia and stuff still, just in case. Yet you're still alive and they're harvesting your organs. Did you know that? No. Don't you think you might be aware of what's going on a little bit in there somewhere?
I honestly don't know.
Way like peacefully in the woods and like someone find me in a couple days,
Yeah, I honestly don't know the specifics of it, but yeah, it's on our driver's license on the corner down there if you are or aren't. But that is the unfortunate side that they don't tell you about when they're initially asking you, like, is if you get in a wreck and you're like brain dead, they're gonna be like, oh, he's an organ donor. Maybe we don't need to wait and see if he wakes up. Let's harvest this shit. That's the unfortunate side that can happen. And there's places that have, like, you don't have to believe me. You can just look this up. There are organ factories that have been busted in the United States for harvesting and stuff. Like, it's huge news back when it happened. Like, so those kind of things do happen, but I think I'm just going to run the risk. Like, I assume, like, maybe the scenario I think is like I die and they try to get him before they go bad. You know what I mean?
If I'm brain dead,
that's the most common thing that happens.
All I know is it aligns.
Can you still feel pain?
It doesn't matter. It aligns with my my living will directive, so it's fine.
You're brain dead. That means that your nervous system no longer works.
That's right.
I feel shit.
Taylor's right. It is true that lobsters on your piano are always better than crabs on your organ. That's why we go to the lobster and piano bar and not.
I think if I'm brain dead, like, put me on a block of ice and take what you want. Like, I don't even care.
I thought you were going to say, put you on a block of ice, wait 1,000 years until we get the technology to bring you back, and then we can bring you back and unback you, and then there's Caroline again.
I don't want to be around any longer.
I've seen what humanity has done the last 100 years. Why do I want to be around 1,000 years? On the hope that somehow we learned from our mistakes and got better.
Demolition Man? They're going to need someone to get Wesley Snipes,
History.
Simon Phoenix. We're going to have to call John Spartan. That's right. We're going to have to call John Spartan to get Simon Phoenix. That's right. But we'll stop at Taco Bell afterwards.
I know. I don't want to have to learn about
and the code word is teddy bear.
Yeah. The 3 seashells.
Those are just too complicated. I don't need to know about that.
Lady in the future with the outdated views. Yeah. You'd basically take me into the 1,000 years in the future, and I'd be like, "Oh, you guys are bots. That's sweaty.
Back in my day,
Try harder."
Try harder.
Back in my day.
Yeah. No. I would.
I still.
You know how Rob feels, Caroline.
That's right. Every time I hear somebody say, "I'm gonna," I filmed that, and I go, "Really? Did you? Can you pull out the canisters and show me the film that you filmed it on?" Because
8mm.
I think you shot some video. Maybe you recorded some video, but you most certainly didn't film anything on your phone.
Finn's so cute with the lazy hair, with the sleepy eyes, and the hair that's kind of sticking up in the back.
Saying good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hola, senor.
Morning.
Pasa.
It's Friday. He got through another week. I saw your pops post some pictures of the kids at the swimming. He was like,
Yeah.
these are good memories.
He recreated, I don't know how many people would have noticed it, but he recreated my post from earlier in the week where I posted that.
Yeah.
He went and found the same spot, and he just did like a version with sandals and a lot more blurry.
Nice. I like it.
So in other words, he was drinking. Got it. All right, I'm going. I have to leave. It's that time of the morning. I'll leave you with these 2 ladies.
Yeah.
All by yourself.
Take care, girl.
We have 14 people watching.
I do, of course.
Some of
say
which might
ladies.
not have been here earlier. So we
Yeah.
are going to take this opportunity for
Smoke bomb.
Mistress Lucy to tell people herself about this.
Have a good one. Thank you, Mark. That is a comic fest that Mistress Lucy is going to be at as a special VIP cosplayer. I just can't believe I'm saying that. Yeah. So
Sorry,
July 12th and 13th, if you're close to Rochester, New York, please come and see me. And I can autograph a comic with me on it. There it is.
Hot mama.
Daddy thinks mommy was in it.
Everyone.
I like it. Those are cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
that's
know.
what
I've been looking at filing cabinets because I'm going to create a conversion system, storage system for my comics. So pretty excited about that.
You're going to really organize super good.
I hate the cardboard. Because it gets nasty every time.
Yeah.
And I'd like them to be in a nicer kind of more organized system.
Have you
I've
seen
seen a
Matt
couple
Wood's
of people with their file cabinet systems, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
And, like, nice and clean. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Jim Boatwright. Boatwright's a really cool guy. He's a Florida man with the Florida crew.
Big O said in his loudest voice, "Filing cabinet life is the best."
I'm with you, Big O. I'm converting.
I'm just excited.
I'm joining the club, Rue. I found a couple of them online for cheap, and they look nice. So I think I'm gonna do a little project. So it'll be fun. Just excited that man. So I'm probably gonna have to back out of here in a little bit. I gotta get through this day. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks I can be more of a presence online, but I've just been so busy.
I'm sorry you got to deal with all that stuff, and like putting a house together is no joke. So yeah, take your time, do it right.
It's
What I'm hearing is, "Oh no, I have a stable place to live. Oh no, boo hoo hoo, poor me. I get to stream online with my friends with my nice headphones in the comfort of my home. Oh no, boo, luxury problems."
It's the worst. It's the pits. Yeah, it's first world problems. Definitely problems that I'm thankful I have, as opposed to having like worms in my belly and no food or clean water.
Yep.
It's all relative. I want to hit heroes next year, bro. That's my goal. It's just that this year I had to fucking get a new home. So, yeah, I'm gonna save up for that. I gotta go because I've got to meet these people. Got to meet you people.
I
Anyways,
agree.
worms, that's real life problems. Tapeworms are real life problems. Yeah, it is all relative. So, all right, dudes, I'm gonna head out.
Hi, Caroline.
ASMR voice heading out. Have a nice day, everyone. Just kidding. Grab your member.
Now, I'm going to
Friendly.
run to the store. So we're gonna killing it early today.
All right, bye guys. See ya.
Y'all have a good one, and see you on the next one.
Take care.
Video. Peace.